Hey, welcome back to Velma's Diner. My name's Andre. What can I get you? Thanks so much for tuning in. It is May 20th, 2026. It's a Wednesday evening. We're back. For those who don't know, we had a little sneak up of a stream earlier this week on Monday morning as a holiday here in Canada. So we did a stream and we played through the Court of the Ancients, which again, I do have to advise you in an emergency situation, do not take the elevator, take the stairs. My God, like safety 101. It actually went pretty well. I do think we started out being a bit, John said he pessimistic about a bit about the story beats, but we actually had like a good job doing the solo stuff and getting away with as much as we could get away with, which was good. Actually, really quite exciting. So it doesn't have any narrative beats. So if you're missing the narrative of the story, that's okay. We basically went into a place, found a relic, and left. So we're off on a really ambitious one tonight because this is Obsidian Canyons. So how's everyone doing tonight? When you come to Relia, you can go east or west, and we went west. I largely recommend going east so far from my experience. And if you go east, this is the first scenario you play. And let me tell you, in terms of the setup and in terms of the rules overhead, oh my God, is this absurdly complicated? And I cannot imagine someone who came out of the core set and this is the second scenario they play. Like if they just pick this box up, it is really, really, really rules dense. There's so many things you have to read. There's so many setup. There's like 2 or 3 new mechanics, like these face down cards and then wind and then the way things work. So we're going to hopefully do it all correctly. This one also takes up a whole lot of table space. So we have a bit of new technology here we're going to be trying out to show you. Firstly, we're going to have the act and the agenda cards just up there, I guess, and we can pull them down when we need them. Hopefully that works out well. And the second thing is, because now we're not tracking Doom, if I'm not mistaken, we have now a little Doom machine there next to the right of our head. So that's just going to take up whenever we need it to take up. I built these afternoons, so any feedback is more than welcome, but we're just trying to get as much table space to be table space, as much as obviously playing with physical cards is kind of the big thing. Adam, how's it going? Hey, how's your Wednesday evening, B-Pigs? Hey, how's, I guess Wednesday, Thursday morning at this point. How you doing? Katurian, I'm an episode behind. Did we win? We actually did technically win. I think we did pretty good for ourselves. Way better than we thought we did. We had such a beautiful opening in the last game, and then we lost a really important card, and then I'm not going to spoil how it went, but this scenario also talking about our most important cards. Oh my God. Is movement very, very click compressed. These are going to have some massive maps and we have to walk across them. So our game plan of just mulliganing for Olivier Bishop hopefully comes through again, because oh my God, are we going to need that guy's help? Hey, Nelson, catching the start of the stream. Hello, peeps. Hey, we've been live. I think our opening countdown was 10 minutes. I was making coffee, so apologies, it's a bit long, but we're just here at the beginning of what's going to be a large trek across space and space. We have a lot of walking to do, a lot of jumping to do. Hopefully it's safe. Don't look down. Hey, Andy, how's it going? Howdy. Are we still in Rapture? We are much further above ground. So we've left the wet spot. We got on an elevator, we went up, and now we're on the rooftops. So we're basically trying to get all the way back down to base camp. So we're kind of descending from the top, but it doesn't get higher than this. It should be pretty dry here. I do think there's a waterfall, but otherwise it's going to be super, super dry. How are you feeling resting up after Con of Heroes? Olivier is so good. Olivier is so absurdly good for like 7 different reasons. Like boosting our evasion stat, absurdly good. Free movement a turn, oh my God, absurdly good. And then on top of it is our soak, because we have 6 health and no other soak in the deck, let alone in the faction. So that is going to be what it's going to be. Oh, you just take a sip of coffee? It's good to have your 9 o'clock coffee after dinner. Sleep good. I found this coffee in a tin. I did not know I had this. It was since Christmas last year. It's still not bad. Why upgrade ally? What do you mean, Adam? Hey, Lucas, how's it going? What do you mean, why upgrade ally? Oh, like Olivier is so good, why upgrade your ally? Well, the thing is, if you are playing Rogue, you only have one other option in Chapter 2, which is Marcus Sangstack. And there's an upgraded Marcus Sangstack, but from my reading of the card, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, hold on one second. My foot pedal doesn't work. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's worth the slot unless it's a really luxurious upgrade. Okay, give me one second. The pedal is set to something it shouldn't be. Does this work now? Yeah, that works. Okay, so let me just check that everything works before we do the setup. So this should flip. This should open. We're André Patel, by the way. I guess that's a good time to get that out of the way. He's been pretty good. He's consistently been a 4-turn Andy, which is just fantastic for solo play, let alone any amount of play. But yeah, we've been getting that extra action a turn consistently, just about every turn besides 1, maybe 2, which that's just really good ability text. So cannot be upset with André Patel. The only thing that's like catching us off guard is his deck building. Specifically, so far, we're choosing to play Chapter 2. It doesn't have a very big card pool, and we're stuck with only rogue cards. So that is the one big downside. Otherwise, his stats, his text box, all that's been pretty good. Rogues have great upgraded allies and legacy. Yeah, Rogue does. And I do think Olivier Bishop does just compete for one of those slots, regardless. Like, I do think you can end up playing Olivier Bishop to the end of a scenario or to the end of a campaign and just get charisma and get extra ally slots. There's nothing that really competes with Olivier. If you can play, what's her name? That French named Bogard, whatever her name is, the Explorer, she's pretty good. But she's like 7 experience or 5 experience or something. Feeling great. COH just turned on my champion's brain. Gathered to play yesterday, going to another meet Friday. Whoa, notably running Bishop pool, gonna be fun. I mean, you got some good resource cards in there. Stay healthy. That works out well. Still a tough sell for the use of experience, for the marginal benefit relative to all of you. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Jean, Jeanne Beauregard. I don't have her card because she's not in chapter 2, but she's very, very good. I finally played the André deck right from the box, and it was bad. I didn't change anything for the deck, but André is really fun. The deck bad. I didn't play the deck as is. I looked at it and it seemed, particularly if you're playing solo, it didn't look really good because there's a bunch of cards that we didn't play that we think they're multiplayer only cards. Notably also, if you look at our deck, which I guess we can, we've spent experience. We did float 5 experience going into this scenario, which is probably not great. But there's some of the things that we're playing the best cards are not from the André deck. They're from the original, like, you know, the core box. Like Lucky Cigarette Case makes so much sense with André. I know he did ship with his own like accessory slot, but like it's not as good as drawing a card every turn. Watch This is part of his thing, which is good. Easy Street's part of his thing. Out the Doors are part of his thing, which are really good. You don't have a gun, so you have no way to do consistent damage if you don't play the 1903 Hammerless. Otherwise, all you have is the cane and pushing people off roofs, which is okay. Lockpicks is in his deck. That's not bad. You do need that. And Thieves Kid, I believe, is also in his deck. I think Olivier Bishop's obviously absurd. This is the only flat agility stat, I think, in the whole chapter 2. So of course you want to play that and not Marcus Seng's deck. And then a whole bunch of the events I found in his deck not to be worth the slots because they're expensive. And if you don't have a cigarette case, you don't have the card draw to sustain them. So I think all of that kind of makes sense. But a lot of his most powerful cards are like he has a really good card pool for a small card pool. But yeah, a lot of the very important cards are from the core set, not from his deck. Yeah, his deck comes with some good skills. The events, I think, are kind of all over the place. But like, you need really good assets because, again, at the end of the day, if your agility stat is your good stat, you need assets usually to make your agility stat consistently work for you. At least you have lockpicks, which is like such a good card. Events not great. Too many marginal events. Yeah, a lot of marginal events. We're not playing out of like the 5 events that came in his deck. We're playing 1 of them. So, or no, 2 of them. I think we're playing 2 of them. So that kind of tells you a bit about that. All right. Let's do some setup. Some setup is to be done. So we have finally been called in on our tasks. So we're gonna have to make a decision here, but check your campaign log. Let me just read this in paper. So the expedition has headed west, classic expedition. So it says, am I dreaming? Andy looks out at the horizon. Ephemeral shapes coalesce and then dissipate in the mists below. In the distance, you see the Obsidian gates where you made landfall. The wide expanse between you and it is filled with mind-bending spires and poisonous green mist. Andy curses as he dumps water out of his camera bag. Mr. Tillinghast assured me this bag was airtight. I told him all I wanted was pictures, maybe a book deal, and now it's all ruined. I honestly don't know if old film back in the day was ruined when it gets wet. I don't even know if modern film get ruined when it gets wet. I know on ruined film it gets wet in the classic like Daryl card, which is like one of my favorite basic weaknesses because it's so just down to earth. And as someone who worked as a videographer, that's like a very, very real situation where losing your footage is one of the worst things you can do. The alien city sprawls for miles. Chunks of broken spires are suspended in the air above collapsed towers, and colorful reefs hang from the underside of ancient bridges. Decaying wrecks of ancient ships lean precariously atop the obsidian spires, swaying gently. You and your companions stare in awe at the unbelievable landscape. I do want to say this is like the wildest thing. The pacing in this campaign is so strange narratively. Like you go from doing, you know, basic street level crime shenanigans, and then 10 minutes later, you're literally suspended above city with these like floating spires. It's like such a weird whiplash. The pacing for this campaign is all over the place. But like this is one of the most majestic, strange sort of locations for any scenario. And the sort of like kind of location setup that only happens in finales, like that's surreal. And it shows up second scenario literally like after 3 paragraphs of reading from leaving Arkham. It's weird. A gale force wind nearly sweeps you off your feet. You steady yourself and look to the south to see dark, angry storm clouds crackling with green energy. The breeze reaches a howling crescendo and then suddenly dies down. The landscape below seems to rearrange as miasmic clouds bend and swirl. Your head swims. When you look back at the horizon, the skyline has changed entirely. So if any investigator has the dreams of destruction or prove your worth tasks, they resolve the respective story on this page. I'm not sure how many ones ask if you have more than one task. I'm assuming a couple do, because there are about like 10 tasks, maybe a bit fewer. But hey, we do. Oh, I need to scroll this down. So we have to read this box, prove your worth, in which we have to make a decision. So we have prove your worth. So far, we have 4 out of the, I think we need 5 to cash this in. So we technically need to pass this scenario for this to be good for our task, because your task is checked when you return home to Arkham. 4 is not good enough from my memory, but it's been a minute. I haven't played Drowned City in a while. So yeah. Nobody else on this expedition appreciates your talents. How could they? It's your duty to help show them why you were the perfect choice for the damned expedition. Nobody asked you, but this could be the perfect time to prove your worth. Super self-centered actor. So we get to choose. Decide one. Either these ropes are all wrong, I can do much better. I'm not going to read what that does to us, but that's one of the options. And the other option is I trust their handiwork. So we have 2 options. Generally, I think these all do the same, where one option gives you a downside but progresses your task. The other option gives you an upside but like loses a task progress. I think we want to go for our task. Again, are the task rewards good or worth it? We'll find out. But actually, there's maybe even task penalties if you don't complete them. So it kind of forces your hand. So I think we're just going to go for the first one just because we don't have enough task completion to complete our task. I think we're allowed to throw this if we already have 5 task completion and we do this. But in terms of the metagaming of how it works, I haven't played this in a while, so I'm not 100% sure. But we'll just do the top one because there's more text. It's probably more interesting. So without consulting them, choose an investigator to help, not yourself if able. I'm going to pick myself if able. Remember that André Patel helped with the ropes, as well as the chosen investigator's name. Each investigator begins the next scenario with 2 fewer starting resources. That's a bummer. Obviously, we love starting resources, but we're starting with 7, which is still over the 5, because we have 2 copies of Another Day, Another Dollar. So we're just going to spend 2 resources here at the top, and we start with 7. Okay, cool. Now we go straight up to setup. We're going to go to set up a Western version. And I've done a lot of the setup. I'm going to read this off the paper just so you can kind of keep track of what's on the table. But this is some of the most elaborate setup. And then once the setup is done, there's like a whole page of like rules about how things work. Most of them are intuitive. One part of this was frustrating because I don't think I understand. Well, I didn't like how they word things, but I'll show you what that is when we come to it. So give me 1 second. And we're going to start with all the encounter cards we're playing. And this asks for a bunch of encounter cards, but you don't actually use all of them. So firstly, Obsidian Canyon has a bunch of cards, 12 cards, 5 enemies, 7 treacheries. Cosmic Legacy is the one that says the fish face is just going to be showing up a lot more often, which sucks because the inescapable is still here. Elder Mist is not too bad because the one that decreases our stats, there's a lot of movement and attaches to your location. And this thing that we haven't killed will be following us. And this is one of the biggest headaches when you play solo because it just hits really hard. Half of really is really fine. It's an evasion test. The other half is a book test. You hope you're in a low shroud location. And then we have a star spawn, which I believe 2 of them are going to be in the deck. And if they show up, they show up. They're worth victory, but we're not very good at defeating them. Now, lastly, Flying Terrors is in hand. This used to be Night Gaunts from the original core set. And in terms of substitutions, we've gone through this whole campaign so far, and I think they only had to do like 1 or 2 substitutions where you had to pull in old cards that don't exist in Chapter 2. I do want to reiterate, if you want to use the old encounter sets from Chapter 1 and you don't own Chapter 1, they're available as a print and pay PDF from the FFG website. But this substitution is actually a really sick substitution. So far, the substitutions have been pretty reasonable. You just take the old set that had Night Gaunts and replace them for the Bat Horror, which is one of my favorite sets when it comes to Chapter 2. It's just a really fun combination of elusive and hunter. I like it a lot, and mechanically it makes a lot of sense. I want to say the other inclusion swap we had to do where we had to take out like deep ones and replace them with poisonous gas. That was the worst that it's felt so far. Everything else has made a fair bit of sense, and this one is no different. It's good. I'm popping popcorn and getting ready to watch Arkham be brutal and mean. I mean, I hope it's one of those. Actually, I hope it's none of those. I hope it's just popcorn. Hopefully it's okay. Played MC. It's morning. You with Psylocke and Nightcrawler precons yesterday. Fun times. Yo, Nightcrawler is just my jam. I know a lot of people like Psylocke a heck of a lot, and she came with some really good psionic cards in her pack, but I'm not sure what aspect she was. It's been a minute. I found Center Stage a really good card for him. His deck comes with banger skills. Yeah, Center Stage, I could see it being a card that we want to play. It's the one that gives you like plus for every action you've taken that turn, right? Yeah. The issue with this is it's expensive, and we cannot play assets that don't really matter. Right? Like this comes down, and usually on a 4+ turn, 4 action turn, you get +4 to a skill, which is pretty good. But at the end of the day, it's like playing assets is so difficult in solo play because you just have to do all your actions really have to matter. And so spending this, well, now we have like Well Connected, which does what this card does. I feel like we might not need it, but I could see it being good. Also, often in an evade-based deck, your first action is the evade action, and that one really needs to count, so you don't want to boost your skill for that. But admittedly, your evade stats are really good, so once you evade the thing, then you can investigate a +1 or +2, and you can figure that out. And that's a nice way to make his like average stats actually really good. So I get it. It's just like very, very expensive compared to all the other money payoffs. And yeah, assets are really hard to play. As much as well-connected, it's hard to play. But it's not bad. It's probably a bit better than I think it is. I just think this card costs maybe one too many resources for me to be excited about it. Psylocke and Nightcrawler are two of my favorites. Psylocke has a Justice. Oh, she was Float Like a Butterfly. Yeah, she has really good cards. That's with like Chamber and Captain Britain or whatever, right? There's some really good cards. That whole like engine is very, very, very consistent. Very powerful. As much as I'm not a big float fan, unless you're playing War Machine or multiplayer. I don't think the card is worth a slot usually, but that's my struggles. Okay, setup. So we gathered all the encounter cards. We set all 14 cards. So this is a weird thing. If you do the recommended exchange, you don't get 14 cards in this deck. You get 13 cards. Now, I did not use the recommended cards. They don't matter. You're just using these cards as card backs. Cypher. Yeah, Cypher. Not Chamber. Yeah, Cypher, Captain Britain, and Chamber. The three. Yeah, they're good. They're very good. So these are just going to be card backs that go into locations. But if you do the like recommended Grimoire changes, you only end up with like 13 cards. It doesn't really matter. Just get another encounter card. Now we are playing with one encounter set, which we talked about. So we gather each location in the city and encounter sets. We remove the ancient dome. We've set aside 4 or 5 different locations. We now shuffle each remaining summit location to a separate deck, unrevealed side face up. And this is called the summit deck. So this is the summit deck. It has its own rules. There's a lot of cards in here. I did a cursory check. There are, I think, 3. Let's just do a really quick check right here. But in terms of like the glyphs so we can get in this, I think there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 glyphs that you can translate from these cards. And this deck is a random deck of cards that you'll be drawing from and revealing these locations. And so you might not get all of them. That's actually a really stressful thing if you do this scenario first, or I guess equally if you do it last. If you're trying to do a perfect glyph run, like you need to really search this deck because this is a huge deck of cards. It's like 14 or something cards. And you're going to be randomly grabbing cards and more cards are going to be added to this. But yeah, it's a weird deck and you draw from the bottom of it, not the top, which I don't remember why that's important, but that's going to happen. So Rilia Streets is here. We're going to start there and play. And then there's 4 of these set aside open sky cards. These are what the encounter card backs are. You can never really functionally flip them, but they're going to be open skies. So that's that. Then we fill each empty space in the diagram with the bottom card of the summit deck above and to the right of Rilia Streets until there are 3 rows and 4 columns. So all we have to do is we grab cards and we build this thing. So it's this orthogonal map, like an array, with their 3 rows and 4 columns. And these are locations you can go to and open skies will move around and stuff like that will happen. But the maps, I believe, get bigger. I think if you do this in the westward location, the maps get even bigger and you spend even more time out here. I think if you go east, it's a bit more like reserved. So we'll see how nonsense this gets. Because I do think you have to rebuild this board a couple times and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. All right, shuffle the set aside central spire into the top 3 cards of the summit deck. So the central spire is one of these set aside cards. It's this one. And we have to shuffle it into the top 3 of the summit deck, which again, some of these locations could be locations we want in terms of they have text. So we just have to remember in the top 4 currently, and it's so hard to count cards in this scenario because you're grabbing from the top of decks. So there's 4 locations and then in the next 4. So the card that we could be looking for can be as soon as 5 card draws. So we have to keep that in mind and we have to do some card counting to some extent. So we begin to play at Rilia Streets. So find the double side Eastern Winds, Western Winds story card and put in the Eastern Winds side in play. I'm going to bring this one a bit closer because we have to like review this text. There's a lot of text on it and it fires every round and we're going to forget it. If there's one thing you can do is make me not forget this card's text. This card's text is really important and it's one of those like start a turn abilities that's like really easy to totally biff. We'll put it there. It's important. Another really fun side note, and this is something that took me a while to understand, a card that says Eastern Winds blows westward. A card that says Western Wind is wind that blows eastward. When people describe wind, they don't describe what direction it's blowing, but what direction it's coming from. That is like technically correct, but oh my God, is that unintuitive when you're playing this? But an eastern wind blows westwards. If I'm not mistaken, that is a thing that also can trip you up. So we build the Act and Agenda deck. And again, I said this a bit earlier, but the Act and Agenda deck, because we're going to need so much of this table, we're just going to have it up here. So we'll pull it down and now we have a Doom tracker next to my head. So we'll see how this technology works. I just built it this afternoon. Hopefully it's good, but we'll read those in a second. Place 1 resource on the scenario reference card under Storm Intensity. Storm Intensity, there's many times this sort of stuff happens in scenarios. It has no mechanical rules text. Inherently, just other cards will refer to the intensity and the intensity will increase and that'll probably be bad for us. Shuffle each enemy from the star spawn and counter set. Remove 2 at random from the game. So there's 4 star spawns. We're just going to shuffle them, grab 2, and they're going to be shuffled into the counter deck with everything else in the counter deck. Hey, Water Lily, how's it going? Is this the windy one? This is the windiest of windy. I'm honestly, it's going to get really warm in here because it's like 30 degrees out. I have a fan off camera and there is so much setup and like overhead for this scenario. I wouldn't say I'm dreading it. I'm just like so anxious that I'm going to mess something up in a way that's hard to repair, but I don't know. That's sometimes just the way it is. We messed up everything about the wind when we did this one. So fiddly. Yeah, me too. The first time I played this, I was with my partner and my brother-in-law, and I did not sleep well. It was a long day, and it was like we started at 7, and then we did the setup, and we didn't understand the setup, so we didn't start playing till like 8, and I was such a curmudgeon, like very much had to apologize. But this scenario just got me at a bad time, and it's like very complex. I can't believe this is the second scenario. This is the sort of like elaborate setup you have for finales. But yeah, second scenario is kind of wild. This scenario is hard to get right. Yeah, if we don't, it is what it is. Like, please hit me up in the chat or the YouTube comments. We'll do our best. But I'm just a guy running a lot of different things at the same time, so we will mess something up for sure. Okay, set the double-sided Sky Relic and Eroded Freeze. Haha, and the Obsidian Claw story as a decided to play. Hopefully we find the Obsidian Claw. I forget how you find it. I think it is in one of the locations. And the Obsidian Claw is like the messed up, best possible relic you can get. And I believe if we translate every glyph that we can from this set, we'll be able to fully translate the claw thing. The claw thing is just nonsense. It's so wild that if you go east, you get the most powerful relic immediately. If you go west, it shows up in the last scenario. I don't know. The claw, if you've seen it, it's so good. Not only for our character, not only for solo, just for everyone. So we're really going to try and shoot for the claw because the claw is like, claw is law, claw is law. Check your campaign log. If the creature was defeated, no, remove the inescapable. Otherwise, spawn the inescapable. So the inescapable is here. Inescapable has 6 health, and it starts at the furthest location possible away from us, which is the far corner. But it does start exhausted. Inescapable has just messed up text. That is an absolute nightmare when it comes to solo play, because if you ever pull the fish face token, this thing just wakes up once per round, and that means it'll hunt, and this thing has relentless, so it just hits you for 4 damage. There's nothing smart you can do about it. I guess in theory we could take the Shard of the Licht, which cancels one of those attacks. That is technically a possibility, but yeah, in solo it's so hard because you literally just can't do a skill test on your 3rd or 4th action if this thing is close enough to hit you. So 2 spaces away, which in a lot of locations is every location is 2 spaces away once you start moving. So not loving that. In player order, each player may choose one earned artifact or item asset we can put into play. So we have our choices here. We'll go through them in a second, and you are now ready to begin. Before we do that, let's just read the quick rules text when it comes to some of these things. So firstly, these locations are called open sky. They are the face down side of treacheries. The back side of them, or the front side, if you want to call it that, they don't matter. These cards are just basically placeholders that have a slight rules text. So they count as locations for the purpose of card effects, location adjacency, and for determining distance. Okay, so there's technically locations. However, investigators cannot move into them unless there's rule text that specifically says you can move into them. Open sky cannot be investigated. Clues can be dropped on them. If you have to drop a clue on it, you drop it at the nearest location that's connected. Locations can enter play in a position occupied by an open sky card, and if this happens, the open sky card occupying that position leaves play. It does not go into the discard pile. It goes on top of the summit deck. Again, do not place in the counter pile, put it on top of the summit deck, and you can technically draw it later because the summit deck generally doesn't shuffle. So it'll be a card you can draw later if you want to. Now, the summit deck and sliding locations, again, there's so much extra rules text here. It says during the scenario, locations in open sky will enter and leave play via the summit deck. The deck is composed of summit location cards as well as single-sided open sky cards. So cards are always drawn from the bottom of the summit deck. I'm not sure why that is. And counter cards from the summit deck are always placed face down because they're open sky. And if a gap between locations and or open sky is created for any reason and not immediately filled via scenario card instructions, fill that gap with the bottom card of the summit deck automatically. So there'll be no gaps. We're always going to have, 12 cards on the table. Investigators may be instructed to slide rows to the left or to the right. And to do so, slide each card in that row once in the direction. Each card and token in this location moves as well. So if a row slides, they literally all the locations slide. However, the last location, if it's going to slide off the map, that will get discarded and go to the top of the summit deck. You don't want to be on that location when it happens because you take a bunch of damage, but locations can and will move across the table, and eventually they will just like, not screen wrap, but they will fall off the side and end up in the summit deck. Some locations, however, cannot be moved. So I think Aurelia Streets is safe. It cannot be moved. And if things were going to move, they kind of just move around it in a somewhat intuitive way. There's not huge issues that causes. Again, storm intensity is something that will be referenced by the scenario. It's just the number up there. It doesn't matter on its own. And that is mostly the rules. I'm going to keep this close because we're probably going to need it in a second. Now, technically, we're meant to choose a relic, but actually, technically, we're meant to see our opening hand first. I don't care. I don't think our relic choice is really going to depend on our opening hand. So let's just make this choice really quickly. And of course, your feedback in the chat, if there's a certain relic you love, let me know. But these choices usually aren't that interesting in solo. So if the final scenario of Hemlock that makes you draw from the bottom, yeah, Hemlock has something like that where there's that extra deck, but you draw from the bottom because the cards could be of different types. And I think that's wise because they don't want you to know the type of card you're going to draw. Because in Hemlock, there's like 17 different cards in the deck. But for this, like technically this could be here or it could be eventually it could be one of these. And so they just don't want you to know what you're drawing. I guess that's why they do it backwards. It's a bit fiddly, but it's like, it's fine, ultimately fine. All right, so what we've always been saying, expedition gear. And a lot of them are probably not worth taking. Their abilities are just not good enough. We don't spend an action to heal one. We don't spend an action to heal a horror. Now, this can move an enemy. It has to be a non-elite, though. And most of our problems with enemies are going to be elites, so we don't like that. A lot of them, same idea. Discarding a power or terror. That could matter, because there are some like willpower powers or terrors that we can't get rid of that are important, but we're not going to consider them. Next thing really quickly is that we have the diving suit, which cares about things being wet and has 3 damage soak on it. And 3 damage soak is not nothing. A slotless 3 damage soak, that's pretty good. Especially because if this is discarded, it goes into our discard pile, then we could technically redraw it and replay it. I don't think we've ever decked out so far this campaign. And then we also have the title tablet that says when your location's flood levels increase, move to a connecting location. Now, we know that there's going to be no flood levels at any of these locations because firstly, we're in the sky, but secondly, because the scenario during setup didn't say to put the flood token. So we're just not going to consider these by default because they're probably not going to do enough. That leaves us with 3. Firstly, we have the alien tablet, which last scenario, I don't know. It helps us deal with glyphs Aurelia. How many glyph Aurelia tests are there? I can't tell you. I don't often look at traits when I draw an encounter card, so there's probably some bad information here we're not working with. We then have the barrier node, which is really good. It's 1 damage a turn. And this scenario can just give you damage if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think this is a definitely interesting choice. But the other one is the Shard of Ychlecht. And the Shard of Ychlecht says you can ignore the first attack against you each round from star spawns or deep ones. And notably, of course, our enemy here on the table is at least a star spawn, if not a deep one. I think it's a star spawn. There should be no deep ones because deep ones exist in water, but there are definitely at least 3 star spawns and maybe more in the deck. So I don't know. My safety pick is Barrier Node. That has like the highest floor. Shards of the Ychlecht has the highest ceiling, possibly, I think. But they're both ultimately cards that just like soak damage. Like this soaks damage by blocking attacks. This soaks damage from everything consistently always, right? It's just 1 damage a turn. I don't think any of these cards we're going to be able to translate because they both require this like 5 dots thing. So the Shard of Ychlecht has 5 dots and we've already biffed that. And the Barrier Node also needs 5 dots and we've biffed that. So that doesn't really matter. I think I'm just going to go for Barrier Node. Not the most interesting, but I think it's just the most consistent outcome. But we'll pay attention for how many glyphs or relics we find, or sorry, glyphs or Aurelia, and how many times we could dodge an attack if we wanted to. Yeah, that's what I remembered from that one. Since in Hemlock, there would be player character cards in there as well. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil more than that, but that deck gets really interesting. Diving Suit for this one's a hilarious choice. I wish it made you move slower or something, but yeah, it's like 3 damage soak. It's not the worst decision. It probably is better than Expedition Gear if you're the 4th investigator. Go for the top of the peaks. Get on your Diving Suit. It's functionally just good enough armor. It's like going out there in your football equipment. You look silly, but it probably will help. And that's mostly it. So we're kind of off to our mulligan. This board is not that bad so far, but I do think it changes and gets bigger because I think we have to trek across this board multiple times. Now, it looks like we need a lot of movement because the thing is we need to find the location that advances us, which again is in the top 4. So we have to go through at least 5 cards. But generally, these locations also pull themselves off of the table. So that not only gives you free movement, but it also gives you free location draw. And that's a really weird thing about the scenario too, is that you need to be counting cards. Because say that we add these 2 cards, these are not going to be the card we're looking for. And then the card we're looking for is somewhere here in the top 4. One of these cards can eventually be put on the table when we need to add cards to the table when wind makes spaces, which means there's a chance that the card we're looking for is already on the table and not in the top 3, which then we have to remember which card that was at what point in time that hit the table. There's like really weird card counting going on in here. And if you cannot remember where the card possibly could have been, which for us is in the top 4, you can just lose that card. Like you can just, it could be literally anywhere on the table if you don't track it well. And so we need to track it well. How does barrier node work? Should it not be destroyed after soaking damage? No, it doesn't. Yeah, it just cannot be discarded or defeated or leave play. So it just takes a damage and then just heals, and that's it. When this is able to take 3 damage and it becomes like the better version of not totally true because the water text matters, but it can become a super diving suit, which is sick. Yeah, 2 health is great. Yeah, the barrier node has weird formatting. I haven't thought long enough if that's the best formatting for it, but it makes sense. All right, we got to do our mulligan now. So you know how our mulligan strategy is. It's basically we hard mulligan for 3.5 cards. We need Olivier Bishop. That is non-negotiable. We have to get lucky to find Olivier Bishop. That is step 1, because not only is this a free move a turn, it's adding a soak, it's adding our flat stat. And our flat stat is so important because we use it for everything. We need to succeed by 2. Of course it is. Next card that we need is our lockpicks, and that's because it's the 1 clue per turn, which is usually good enough for solo, and this adds our stats together, so we should succeed by 2. That is our second thing. If we can't get this, we'll take a Thieves Kit, I guess, but Lockpicks is usually better, as much as Thieves Kit allows you to get multiple clues. It's okay to start with Thieves Kit, but we need a way to get clues, and those are 4 cards in our deck that do that. Next, we want a damage card. Not the most important to get on turn 1, but Sword Cane. Oh, not Sword Cane. I forgot that was like an old card. What is it called? The Polished Cane? Polished Cane is good enough. It does 1 instance of damage and an evade against an non-elite. That's fine. The other one we want to get is our 1903 Hammerless, but we usually don't play these on turn 1. Last 2 cards, Well Connected, really good. Allows us to use our money as much as we usually spend all our money on our first turn, so that's not the case. But the other card we want is the Lucky Cigarette Case, because we do want to succeed by 2 every turn, and this is a free card draw every turn. That's obviously very good. But right now, everything is Olivier and cigarettes. Not her. Olivier and cigarettes, so let's go. All right, first, know the line. I still have not known all the text on all of these. This is the skill test on the scenario card. That's like one of the better ones because we're really bad at treacheries, but we're not going to keep that. Thieves Kit. We could hedge keep this. If we don't draw Olivier, we probably do just discard Thieves Kit. Maybe that's not true because I do think we need a way to find clues, but that's our best card so far. Prestidigitation, not something we need. It's not great on turn 1 because it's only really good once you have multiple items usually, so we won't keep that. Well Connected is a good card if we mulligan into it, but it's not a card we want to keep because we usually don't have resources for the first 3 or 4 turns, but we want to draw one at some point in the game. And we have a Watch This. Same idea. It's an econ card, but we can't keep it. Really good card. That's awkward. Now, Thieves Kit, it might be worth throwing it out. We have 3 other hits for items that can find us clues. This is not the worst. It allows us to use our good stat. Thieves Kit allows us to investigate with our 5 agility. Notably, in a bigger card pool, there's actually a Thieves Kit that's upgraded. That's a bit better. We'd like that one a bit better. I think it even has different flavor text if I'm not mistaken, but we just have this one. So we're just going to mulligan and draw 4 more. So we hit none of the cards we wanted so far. Let's see if we can get deeper. Okay. Unaware, can't draw a weakness. Easy Street, not a card we want. It's just a stat boost. We don't need that. Second Thieves Kit, max punish for keeping this Thieves Kit. That's the worst. Okay, that's amazing. Now we're good. Now we have actually an okay setup with Olivier and Thieves Kit. The best card we could draw here is Cigarettes or a money card. We draw Know the Scene, which is the one that lets us to investigate and parlay, I think, right? Yeah, cool. Not too bad. Olivier and Thieves Kit, that's 7 resources. Not a bad start. Can't feel bad about that. I'm so fascinated by how you have your UI set up. Is it like voice activated and looks up what you say when you hold down a button? So smooth. No, I have a keyboard on my lap actually, and I have to type in the names of things. It's fast typing. I do type quite fast. I think I'm faster than average. Generally I type a bit slower here because you have to be a bit accurate, but I'm sitting with this on my lap the whole time, and I have a little text box here that I can write things into. So far, that's my easiest way. I do think you could set up voice command stuff, but I think that technology is better than I think it is in 2026, but yeah, I don't think we need it. I also have the keyboard on my lap anyways, because it allows me to do all these other stuff like change the overlay or get resources and stuff like that. So I'm always going to have it on my lap. Okay, let's read a bit about the act and the agenda. So the act here, there's only one. Let's start with the agenda, excuse me. There's only one agenda, which means that this probably advances multiple times. I forget exactly what happens. I have an idea. So this is called Encroaching Storms. The clouds around Rillier crackle with alien energy as a storm picks up. Each non-weakness enemy may enter or leave open sky as if it were a location. So we'll always be attached to something. It can never not find us because there'll never be empty spaces on this board. Each location is connected to each location and open sky adjacent to it. Adjacent is orthogonal, so no diagonals, but just up, down, left, right. And forced, when an investigator would leave play, Move that investigator to any central location. They take 2 direct damage. Now, direct damage means we can't assign it to the barrier node, so we can't really tank this. But 3 doom means that this is going to advance a fair bit, and probably every time we advance it, this number will go up and things will get harder. I don't know how long we have. Notably, this is the last scenario it really is, so it's probably the hardest scenario we're meant to be running into if you assume there to be a sort of like curve that makes sense. All right, the act. This one is also bespoke to our direction. It says scouring the spires. The alien skyline calls to you, brimming with ancient secrets. So spend X clues as an action to reveal X cards from the bottom of the summit deck. You may put only one revealed location into play in an adjacent open sky and move to it. So place the open sky card and each other revealed card on top of the summit deck in your choice of order. So the more clues you spend, the faster you'll go through the summit deck, and the faster you go through the summit deck, the closer you'll get to the card we want, which again, the card that we want to advance is in the next top 4. So in theory, these 4, they still could be useful because some of them could have relics that we want to like get and translate, but ultimately our objective here is in the top 4, and we have to count cards pretty heavily. Now, the objective says if each surviving investigator is at Central Spire, which is in the top 4, we have to advance immediately. Anytime the objective doesn't say May, it just has to happen at quick speed. I don't know if they eroded this one to be May. Now, other text we have to look at. Did I do this right? Scenario name, Obsidian Canyons. Obsidian Canyons standard. Yeah, okay, here we go. So our tokens, we have 3 cultists, 2 fish face, 2 skulls. So negative X on skull, X is the current storm intensity, so that's -1. It'll just continue to go up. We unfortunately have 3 cultists, which is -4. If this test fails, place doom on the nearest enemy. That's awful. That's absurdly bad. What are you talking about? Not only is like we need 3 doom to advance, that means that there's like 1 in every 3 turns where this text doesn't matter, but 2 out of every 3 turns, that text is going to cost you 3 actions. And if the nearest enemy is as far away as this thing is, like that's just over. And -4, that means this bag has 4 -4s in it, so succeeding by 2 is going to be really difficult. We have no tablets, but we have 2 fish faces that says -2. If there's an enemy at your location, reveal another token. That's also really bad when you're evading an enemy, let alone trying to succeed by 2. That's a brutal bag. No way around it. Other text we have to read. We know they're inescapable. If we pull the fish face, it wakes up. But let's read the text on the Eastern Winds real quick, which I hope I have this card. Eastern Winds. Yeah. So this card has a lot of text on it. So it says, Necrous wind blows from the eastern skies. Forced, when the round ends, and we're definitely going to forget this, so make us not forget this. Reveal tokens from the chaos bag equal to the storm intensity. If a non-elder sign symbol token is revealed. And I do want to say, this is a part that caught me off when I was really tired. Caught me off guard. And I don't agree with the wording of this. And that's because the way that you translate this to English generally doesn't line up. So this says if a non-elder sign symbol token is revealed. So that when I read that, I think it is if you reveal any token besides the elder sign, but that's not the case. It's because they don't consider the -1 to be a symbol. I mean, I get that. I see where they're coming from, but I just wish it said if it was like, it's hard to word this, but I would just say if it's a non-numeric symbol, I don't know. Anyways, it's basically if it's a symbol that's not a number, but also not the elder sign. I didn't think it was like that, so the winds was blowing all the time. But we're going to be revealing 1 token, and if it is a number, the wind doesn't move. But if it isn't a number, the wind will blow, and we have to do this text. So there's more non-numbers than numbers, but only barely, and the elder sign doesn't count. I find that to be a bit hard to read sometimes. Non-elder sign symbol. Okay, so we have to do these 4 things. We have to shuffle the leftmost open sky and summit locations in rows 1 and 3 and place them on top of the summit deck. If it has victory X, it goes on the victory display. Cool. Each enemy token and attachment of those locations in the open sky are discarded. So basically, these rows 1 and 3 are just going to blow west, east. Shuffle the leftmost open sky. Yes, because eastern winds blow west. Yeah, so we have to watch out. When the eastern winds blow, the leftmost from 1 and 3 will blow out of the board, and all these locations will shift down to us, which means moving to the right is actually really bad because you'll see the central location, it actually can't leave play. So if we're here after this becomes the location, if it becomes a location, and this gets blown out, we just take 2 damage direct and get thrown back to the streets. So currently going directly east is a bad idea. You don't want to be going straight into the wind usually. After that point, you slide each open sky and summit location in rows 1 and 3 once to the left. Then you place the bottom card of the summit in each gap created. So we'll be creating 2 gaps if this happens, which just gets us deeper through the deck. So technically that eventually could be one of the locations we need. And we have to remember it's one of those 2 locations, which is just very hard to map out. And then you flip this card over. The card on the back is like almost identical. It's just called Western Winds. And instead it blows the middle row right. This is blowing the top and bottom row left, and this will just flip back and forward if it flips. And I think there's a couple scenario effects that just flip the card without having to fire the text. Eastern winds blow from east to west. Truly not so easy to mess things up. Yeah, I have to read this like 6 times, and even then I don't feel confident. But the eastern wind does blow west. Okay. Now that we've read everything in 50 minutes, we can start by flipping over this location. This is Relia Streets. Relia Streets, the back has some flavor text. So this is central. That's important because a couple cards care about central locations. It said fetid seawater pools in the ancient streets, stinking of dead flesh and rotten detritus. There's a funeral air in the sleeping city, a feeling of deep loss and dread. All right, Relia Streets. I think Relia Streets is a location name also in Carcosa, but I might be wrong about that. All right, 2 shroud, 3 clues. Relia Streets cannot be moved or leave play, so things will blow over it, literally blow over. And you can spend 1 to 3 resources in action to place that many clues from the token pool on any revealed location. So technically you can't run out of clues. All right, that's fine. And we're off. So again, we cannot move anywhere. All we can do is spend the action on the act there, and we can, as an action, spend X clues. So as long as we have 1 clue, we can reveal at least 1 card from the bottom of the deck and put it into play in one of these 2 locations. So that's the one thing we can do to progress forward. That means we kind of don't need to play Olivier Bishop here, because notably when you do that text, it actually moves you to that location as well, if I'm not mistaken. It says reveal X cards from the bottom of their summit deck. You may put 1 revealed location to play in adjacent open sky and move to it. So you do get a free move. So Olivier Bishop's actually slightly less important here than you might have expected. Okay, last thing to say, prove your worth is on the table. We don't want to fail this. We started with 2 fewer resources because we were helping each other, or sorry, we didn't think people believed in us. But every time we fail by 2 or more, we have to remove a chance token. And we technically need to succeed this one if we want to get 5 task completion, which I hope that we do get that. Okay. We're off. So first thing first, we're going to get some clues. We're going to drop our Thieves Kit in our left hand. It's a Thieves Kit, costs 3. And it comes in with 6 charges, which you can spend. When you investigate this, you can choose to use your book, but we won't. And if we succeed, we gain a resource. So we can make our money back, which is pretty good. I guess we might as well play Olivier Bishop so we don't discard it from hand. I do think there's a couple treasuries that do discard things from hand. So Olivier will be played as our second action for all our money. That puts us at a 6 agility. So our book stat is pretty good, or our foot stat's pretty good there. So we probably can't fail with this unless we draw the bad thing. So it comes in with 2 physical, 1 horn. Third action, and of course we want to succeed by 2. We're going to just use our Thieves Kit, and we're going to use our agility to investigate 6 to 2. So that's good to bring your stat up +4, because most of the bag is actually really pretty bad to us. Skull is -1, so we succeed by 2. So we'll get an action back, we get a clue, we get a resource. So in theory, if our job is to see deeper and deeper into the deck to find a location, we actually should spend a single action to find one to look at multiple cards. So I do think here we're just going to try and empty Relia Streets while we can, because the Thieves Kit is pretty good, and we do have a second one. So for our third action, we're going to do Thieves Kit again, investigate 6 to 2. Oh, we got a resource, excuse me. We have an easy street in hand, so the resources matter. 0, okay, we'll take a resource and a clue. And then we did 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our turn. That's it. This thing wakes up. We do card and credit. We have to watch out if we pull the fish face. We got an out the door. That's really good. It's a nice little econ card. Super easy to play. Gives us a wild and an agility and 4 resources if we don't biff it, which we're hoping not to biff it. We didn't use Olivier, but that's probably fine. All right. So again, this only needs 3 doomed advance. And if I made things make sense, the doom counter next to my head is going to go to 1 and we're off. And then we just draw an encounter card. That's not right at all. This is right. We'll draw an encounter card. We've shuffled this. Cunning Mimicry. Okay. Oh, this is not good. This means we just get hit. So if there are no monster enemies in play, Nope, that's a monster. Cunning Mimicry gets Surge. Otherwise, test 3 book, and if you fail, the nearest monster enemy attacks you. That's going to be a 3 book test, which we're not likely to pass, considering we're 3-3, and there's only 4 tokens out of, I think, 18 that passes this. And we're going to be attacked by the Inescapable, which hits us for 2. Now, luckily, one of those 2 we can put on the Barrier Node, the other we can put on Olivia Bishop, but it also means we're likely to fail by 2, which is not good for preview worth. Relentless only hits twice if it's attacked during the enemy phase, and this is not the enemy phase, so yeah, that's fine. We have to watch out. This card is just like auto damage for us. Not much we can do about it. We could add 1 wild to but that doesn't really matter here, so we're just going to do 3-3 and hope we get lucky. Elder Sign 1 time. 1 time Elder Sign. Hey, +1. Okay, sick. We succeed. Nice. We'll take that. Okay, so we forgot this. I knew immediately. I was like, that's too easy. No, we have to do this text technically before we did all that stuff. We're just going to do it after. So when the round ends, reveal tokens from the chaos bag equal to the storm intensity, which is currently 1. It is not a non-elder sign symbol, so we don't do any of the text, so we play on as is. But that is going to be a problem. So I think we're likely going to want to go up because going right is not great. That being said, there are, again, 3 glyphs on the table. I think we need to translate 2 of them to get the best access to the hook thing we want. But I also don't know if the hook can possibly be on the table. But these cards are random, so they're as likely to be the hook as they are to be glyphs. So I don't know how we're going to get to all these locations. I think we're just going to get the easy clue here. So we're going to start our first action. We'll do Thieves' Kit again. 6-2. Skulls -1, so that's 5-2. We're good. We get an action back. We get the last clue. And we get a resource. So we're at 4 resources already, which is pretty nice. So now I think we have to do the text on the act if we want to go deeper. So do we use all their clues? I don't know if we do. Because this is like the really awkward thing, is if we use 3 clues. No, 3 clues is fine. Well, 3 clues is not fine, honestly. So this is the issue. So if we spend 3 clues, we look at these 3 cards. One of them goes into play here, and we move to it. The others go on top of the deck, which the card that we can look for is somewhere in these top 4. And next turn, if the wind blows, technically there's a 1 in 4 chance that the location we want to go to is one of these 2 locations. And that's probably not good. I think we want to make it so that we only look at 2. So if the wind blows, we still know it's in the top 4 guaranteed. And then hopefully we can snipe it next turn. I think that's the best case scenario. So I'm going to spend an action and spend 2 clues. Again, card counting is really important for this scenario, which doesn't seem like it should be. So it says, reveal the bottom cards of the summit deck. This is another rules question that annoyed me, is that some of these cards say when revealed to do something. I don't know if that's meant to happen when you reveal them, because you're revealing them from the deck to reveal them. But then I think they only reveal once they hit the table. So they use the word reveal in like a bunch of different contexts that all mean something slightly different. So we found 2 locations. I don't think any of these are particularly interesting, but we have to make a choice here. So one of them is Magnetic Spires. There's multiple of these in the deck. 2 Shroud, flat 3 clues. You cannot trigger abilities on firearm assets while you're here. That's okay. In each investigator's location as an action, you can spend 1 clue to choose an open sky up to 2 spaces away and swap Magnetic Spires with the chosen open sky. So that's a free move for a clue. A free, pretty big move sometimes. The other option is Dazzling Skyline, which only comes in with 1 clue but 1 shroud. But after you reveal Dazzling Skyline, take a horror. And this is what I don't know. Did we just reveal it? Like, this is a really big deal. Because the act says here, spend X clues, reveal cards from the bottom of the deck. Or do you only reveal this once it hits the table? Does anybody know? Because the word reveal is used so much. I can't tell if we just revealed this from the deck, or is this revealed when the location hits the table? So we could choose not to reveal this through the reveal. Reveal, reveal, reveal. If we choose to reveal this, we take a horror, which is not super sustainable. We can spend 1 to 3 clues, and for each clue spent, we can reveal the bottom 3 of the summit deck. You may place those cards on either the top or the bottom of the summit deck in any order. So you can kind of force the thing as much as you could just spend 3 clues to look at 3 cards. This is 3 clues to look at 9 cards, which could be good if the deck is shuffled and you kind of lost track of where everything is. Even just looking at the whole deck can give you information that the thing's on the table if you think you might have lost the card to a thing entering. I don't know if revealing reveals, which is such a silly sentence, but I'm convinced that this is only revealed once it hits the table. But I don't know. Does anyone know? Please help me out. I knew this was going to come up. I probably should have this looked up before, but I remember revealed being used way too many times in this scenario. I'm going to assume it's not. If it is, remind me to take a horror, but I'm going to go for the Magnetic Spires. And so what we have to do here is we have to put this on the table at a location in open skies. So we don't have to choose the location first. You may put one revealed location into play at an adjacent open sky and move to it. So we're going to put it here, which I think reveals it. These two now go on the top of the deck in our choice of order. So we're going to put this on top. I'm actually going to put this one on top of this one, and it'll just make it easier to count cards because the location we want, which I'm not sure if we're meant to be able to display this deck, but you never shuffle this, so I don't see why not. But the location that we're looking for is 4 cards down at a maximum from this this card. So we're now at Magnetic Spires. Okay, 2 Shroud, 3 clues. It has text that we can interact with. That was 1, 2, and we've spent 2 clues. Now we actually can just move into the next summit. It's worth noting these summits, you can move into them. They just have slightly bad text. It says, when you would enter this location, if you do not control the Obsidian Claw, which we definitely want to get, you may either spend 1 clue or test 2 agility. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move. 2 agility versus 6 agility, this shouldn't be a problem. But we probably do want to just use Olivier's text here just to get a free move while we can. So we did 1, 2. I think we can just investigate because 2 Shroud's pretty, I would say, relatively guaranteed. So we'll do Thieves' Kit one more time. 6 to 2. -4, so we succeed. We get a clue and a resource. And then there was 1, 2, 3. I guess we're going to do fast action here. We're going to use Olivier. So we'll fast and we'll move into a connecting location. We'll move into the summit, which is connected to a lot of 3 different locations. So that's pretty good. It's nice to be in the middle because you're connected to more things. So the text on the summit, once again, is we have to do a 2 agility test. And if this fails, we cancel the move. So we're 6 to 2. We did 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have 1 more. -2, so we're good. We can reveal the summit. All of them have the same text, mind you. Oh, this is an important one. We need this to go find the location we want to get. So 5 Shroud is pretty high. 1 clue. We have some tricks to get high Shroud locations like right under their noses. We didn't upgrade it, but we could have. After you discover the last clue's location, you discover this glyph Elder Thing, and I think this glyph is important if we do get the claw. So we do want this. Problem is, last action, we don't have much to do here. We don't want to investigate 6 to 5. It's not incredibly consistent. We haven't pulled the fish face yet, but we're at the point where if we pull the fish face next turn, this thing will jump on us, which is not great. So we could spend an action to play our next Thieves' Kit, which might not be the worst. I think we could consider doing that because we're going to need to get more than 2 clues, and this is a nice downturn. The other option we could do is draw, but I think we'll just play the second Thieves' Kit for 3 resources and pass our turn. Okay. Enemies. We can choose to move the inescapable this way or that way. I think this way might be better, but I don't actually know. That's just kind of vibes. And then we'll do our upkeep, which is card and resource. We draw a Polished Cane. So now I don't like the fact that we have filled both our hands, but the Polished Cane doesn't really work against elites in any better way than just base evading. Or sorry, it does 1 damage, which is actually technically a way to deal with the Inescapable. The Inescapable has Victory 0, so there's ways it can come back. I guess the Victory 0 doesn't matter. We just know that there's cards that can bring it back. But defeating the Inescapable would actually be quite good. So we get a card that pushes it off a roof, which at least that thematically makes a lot of sense in this scenario, which is good fun. All right, we're not going to forget Eastern Winds. We're going to pull a token. We'll see if it's a non-Elder Sign symbol. It is. So we have to do a thing. I looked at the rules reference and I think reveal from the deck is different from when the location is revealed as it changes from face up to face down. So the way you played it was correct. That's my intuition. And there is a small issue sometimes with this game where they use the same word too much. And it causes confusion because you're right. We're revealing from the deck and then the card is chosen and then you reveal it on the table. And those are 2 different uses of the same word in mechanically different ways. That's annoying. The same way in this game, you do an evade action and the effect of a successful evade action is you evade an enemy. However, evading an enemy automatically is different. Like they all technically mean different things, yet they use the same word, which in theory is not great. This was the same in Netrunner, by the way, back in the day, where it was like you could make a success, like you could access 0 cards to not access cards. Like there's usually you just want to add 1 more word, right? To have some sort of consistency here, but I get it. It's hard. Anyways, we have to do this text. So shuffle the leftmost open sky in summit locations, roll 1 and 3 and place them on top of the summit deck. So we shuffle them. So not that we have information, but this is awkward to shuffle because the card backs are different. Now we can't do Relia Straits because Relia Straits cannot be moved or leave play. So technically we don't actually shuffle if I'm not mistaken. This just goes on top. Yeah, I think this should go straight on top. Shuffle the leftmost open sky and summit locations, which it's neither, so we don't do that, and place them on top of the summit deck. Slide each open sky and summit locations rows 1, 3, 1 still left. So we're now right next to the fish face guy, which in theory, that's better for us because now we actually can like olivate bishop to it and like evade it, sort of. But pulling the fish face means it jumps on us, which is not good. Now this can't move, so this actually leaves and goes on top of there, and then these come in. Anytime that there's empty locations, we have to place the bottom card of the summit. Now we can choose what order we place them in, I'm pretty sure. And now this means the location we're looking in is in the next 4. So we have 4 clues. We're guaranteed to find the location we want. Problem is we don't have 4 clues. The most we can get here is 3. So we can just get lucky, which we do get lucky most often. Then we have to flip this card over. The backside of it is just Western winds, which is the same. Just it goes the other way, and it only hits the middle row, which will send us off. But we have to be very careful now because anytime a card enters location, there's a 1 in 4 chance that that's the card that we need. And we have to remember and trace where that is, which good luck. Okay. Hey, AP90, how's it going? Yeah, the act reveal mechanic kind of should be look at command. Yeah, it should be look at. It's 100% should be look at. It should be look at the bottom 2 cards of the deck. There's no reason the word reveal should be used there. It does not help. And you are just looking at, right? All right, Doom. We're now at the witching hour because again, the doom here is only 3. And then once that flips, we'll probably reset and goes back and do all that sort of stuff again. But importantly, now we pull the -4 and fail. We add a doom to the nearest enemy. That probably doesn't matter. So that's nice. Next encounter card still behind you. This one's pretty soft. We're pretty good at this one because it's only a 2 agility test. We just don't want to do the bad thing here because then it gets worse. So test 2. If this test fails, get +1 difficulty for each copy still behind you in the victory display. Sorry, that's just text. And if you fail, if it's in play, it moves 1 location at a time to your location and engages you. Honestly, if we fail it, we wouldn't be gutted because it actually saves us sort of an action because we have to get 1 location away from this thing and we're no longer allowed to safely do tests on our 3rd or 4th action. Specifically our 3rd or 4th action, we can't do tests anymore because we pull the fish face, we just take 4 damage. Like, Inescapable sucks. We probably should just run to its location. Drop the polished cane and start hitting it. We're 6-2. -1. We're good. We don't succeed by 2 on our turn, so we don't get an action, but that's fine. Okay, so we're here at the Western Athenaeum. Athenaeum sounds right. I have no idea what that is. This thing is going to hit us for 4 if we don't deal with it. So we could just move to its location clicklessly and then evade it. And then as long as we don't do a test as our last action, we should be fine. So I think we have to go to this. The problem is the only way that we can fight this is we have to do 6 polished cane actions after emptying the Thieves Kit, which, I mean, maybe. If we do Easy Street, like we could try and investigate this location. We generally really do want to investigate this. Firstly, also, because when you clear a victory location, it has no clues on it. It doesn't go back into this deck. So you actually end up thinning this deck, which is useful not only for finding the locations you care about, but also just like keeping track of the deck and making sure, oh, this should be the other way. But yeah, that's also kind of useful. So we do want to clear it, but 5 Shroud is a lot. The most we can get ourselves up to is if we actually, no, we could do it. We could do 5, 6, 7, 8 on out the door. 8 to 5 is almost good enough. And then we could just like know the scene for the lull. I guess we could just know the scene. But I do think we want to clear this, so we might have to boost into it pretty heavily. And then we'll just go and invade the thing. I think that's fine. We also could just do out the door first. And then once we do out the door, we're going to get 7 resources. And then Easy Street is 3 wilds. I mean, we might as well just do know the scene, I guess. So first action, we're going to use our near empty Thieves Kit because we want to empty our hand. And we're just going to investigate. This place has 5 Shroud, Western Athenaeum. So we're 6 to 5. If we do out the door, we really have to double boost into this because if we lose 4 resources off of this, we're going to be pretty upset. And it's not that we lost it, but we just didn't gain it, which is the same. So we're going to gain 4. So we're at 6, 7, 8. This is an evade test. 8 to 5 to be safe, we need to boost 1 more. So I guess we're going to overboost and do know the scene, which feels pretty wasteful, but we're a lot to 5 and we'll brute force our +2. Succeed by 2. -3. Okay, so that's great. We keep our money. We get the last clue. We get a resource. So we're up to 8 resources suddenly, if I did that correct. We get an action back. And most importantly, we can do the text on the Western Athenaeum, which is important. So now that we got the last glyph, or sorry, we got the last clue from this, we can translate Elder Thing. Cool. Is it 1 word? Yeah, perfect. And I do think that one actually shows up on the thing that we want to get. So that's good. We dealt with that. We have 3 more actions. Fast action, we're going to use Olivier Bishop, and we're going to come straight at this thing here, and we're going to play Arcane after. But we first, before we enter this location, we have to do the text on the summit. Now, these locations blow west, but it's not going to be a while till that happens, so we're relatively safe. But we have to watch out. We never want to be too far off the end. But luckily, we have a bunch of summits in the row, so we can always Olivier in the wrong direction if we need to. So we have to do this test, 6 to 2. If we fail, we lose an action functionally. We're never going to spend a clue on this because we're so good at agility. -1. Good. So Inescapable engages us. And we reveal Magnetic Spires. So we've seen this one before. I think there's 2 or 3 of these. It has 2 Shroud, 3 clues. 2 Shroud's perfect for us. 3 clues we can deal with, and has the ability to each investigated location can spend a clue to choose any open sky up to 2 spaces away. Swap Magnetic Spires with the chosen open sky, which means you move with it, which is also quite useful. That's pretty good. Okay, now we have to deal with our friend here, the Inescapable. We still have 3 actions, so we're going to try and evade this now. Best case scenario is we pull the fish face on the Inescapable evade. We're just going to evade 6 to 2. There's no reason to boost this. Elders, this is good, I think. -4, so we succeed. But I believe this would be -4 if the test fails, plays a Doom on the nearest enemy. So we do pass, and this thing is evaded. Okay, so we spent 2 actions, which means if we do the next Thieves Kit, which we will do, if we do this and we pull the fish face, we have 1 more action to evade the thing and not take 4 damage, which seems good. So we're just going to do Thieves Kit and play the Polished Cane, and that should deal with the Inescapable over the next like 2-3 turns of doing nothing. So we're 6 to 2 here. We've had a really good start so far, I'll be honest. We are going to advance, so we'll see what happens, but 6 to 2. Auto fail. Okay, that's bad. So we don't get the clue. We don't get the resource, but the thing doesn't wake up. So as our last action, we're just going to put down a Polished Cane, which allows us to take 6 actions. Literally going to take 2 whole turns to discard this thing to be able to defeat it with the Polished Cane. But I mean, we have no other damage in our hand. And I think specifically where we are, guns don't work. So even if we drew a gun, it's no good use here. Because it says you cannot trigger firearm assets while your Magnetic Spires. So we at least have our Polished Cane. Actually, the problem with the Polished Cane, is this even good? Because this thing has 5 fight. Sorry, 4 fight? Yeah, we're doing 6 to 4 off of this. Is this even the right thing to be doing? Like, we have to do evade, fight, evade if it wakes up. But 6 to 4 is far from guaranteed. And if we end up putting Doom on this, we basically lose a whole turn. I mean, we got nothing better to do besides run away from it. Maybe we just run away from this. Do you think we fight this? I forgot that you fight its fight stat. You don't fight its agility, which we love fighting its agility. Like 6 damage is so much. 8 to 4? On what? If auto fail by 2 for your task? Yes, it is. It is a fail by 2 by task. Good catch. Yeah, because it's 2 Shroud. Yeah, we do fail by 2. Because auto fail puts us at 0. So that was 6 to 0. Or 0 to 2. So we fail by 2. Yeah, good catch. 6 plus 2? Wait, why plus 2? Polish Cane adds fight. Oh my god, you're right. Polished Cane adds fight. Okay, we know we're good. We're good. Yeah, we're right. You're right. We're 8 to 4. We're totally fine. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, wait, how do we use this consistently? No, it's good. It has text. Yeah, it's been a second. Excuse me. That's it. We'll do upkeep. So we get a card and a resource. We're gonna advance. We drew Unaware. Unaware is a weakness, our basic that comes in André Patel. So we decided to keep with it. If we fail a skill test during our turn, bad things happen. The worst thing is we lose a card draw. I'll be honest. Like, imagine we had Lucky Cigarette Case. We would have drawn 3 extra cards by now. 2 maybe. Yeah, we're gonna beat it with a stick. This is on us. That's it. Now we'll do the Western Winds text, which is the exact same text. It just blows the other direction. So we have to pull for a non-elder sign symbol. -4, so we do nothing. All right, so that means we're gonna advance. Doom goes to 3, and that means we have to advance the agenda because 3 is a pretty low threshold. So agenda. I actually realize I have to look at what the agenda is because we need to know the name of the back. It's called Raging Gales. There is more to the storm than just bad weather. As the gales howl around you, the alien landscape buckles and shifts before your very eyes, blurring your vision. When you regain focus, the skyline looks unfamiliar. If the current storm intensity is 6+, each surviving investigator is defeated and suffers 1 physical trauma. We don't have many turns to do this. It feels like they're very short in this campaign. I don't think they are, but they do feel short. Otherwise, add a resource to the storm intensity. So storm intensity is now 2, which means the skull is -2, and other effects now. We pull 2 tokens from the bag, so it's more likely for the wind to blow. I think that's really thematically cool. Discard cards from the top of the counter deck until an enemy is discarded and spawn at the lead investor's location? Come on. If the current storm intensity is 3 or less, that enemy enters play exhausted and unengaged. I mean, that's good. And then you just flip this back over, which means we're just going to do this over and over again until we die. Or leave. So we have to discard. Sorry, what does this say? Discard until there's an enemy? Yeah, that sucks. There's a lot of enemies in the deck, though. There's also St. Elmo's Fire, which is fun. Yeah, okay. All right, Star Vampire. So it's here. It's a big one. There's 2 of these in the deck. 5 health. 1 evade's not bad. It has Hunter and Relentless, so it's going to hit twice. Its prey is us because of default. And forced, after this enemy attacks, heal 1 damage from it. 5. We have 11 health of enemies to deal with. Now, because the storm intensity is low, it is going to be exhausted, but we just have to get away from this thing. This is the worst thing to draw on the location that we were just going to sit and fight. But technically, we can use all of a bishop to move and bring the inescapable away from us. So that's good. Let's see if the Doom reset works. Nope. Let's see if Doom reset works. Yeah, that worked. Okay, cool. All right. All right, we had a good run. We had a great run, friends. We have drawn 17 health worth of enemies on turn 3. This is the monstrous star spawn. It has 6 health. It has 2 fight, 2 evade. It's massive and relentless, so it is engaged with us technically. Its prey is, of course, us, and when you reveal a fish face while fighting or evading, heal 1 damage. We have literally 17 health worth of enemy. Hey, this one's not elite. That's good. We can hit that with a stick a couple times. My first fall with Unaware on the table, I draw an enemy and discard it. Lucky. That's not bad. It's not bad. We try not to fail tests. I thought Unaware fired during the Mythos phase, which I liked it a lot less, but yeah, it's not that bad. You try not to fail tests. Hey, demo. I like when the agenda deck does the Depths of Yacht thing almost as much as I like the original Depths of Yacht thing. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like the slow intensity ratcheting up. I can get behind that. Yeah. I don't like drawing 17 health of enemies, though. No, 17 health of enemies is a lot. Like, even for 4 players, that's a lot, let alone 1 guy with a stick. Oh, God. Yeah, Mr. Patel, yeah, the 2nd thick enemy. The 3rd thick enemy has hit the table. Oh, Jesus. What do we do? So this one's engaged with us. Importantly, the monster star spawn. It's just massive, so I put it over there. Technically, it doesn't really matter in solo, but it is engaged with us. It just won't leave. So if we just leave, it leaves, which is nice. So we could get 2 locations away. We could move, but oh God, we're going to spend the whole game running away from these things. Now they can blow off. I think that's a really cool thing, is that if they get too close to the sides, oh no, the wind, and they will blow off, but they will chase you through empty sky because they can all fly. They all have wings. Oh, the coffee was a bit of grit in there, huh? Just some good old grit from the digestion. Luckily, we have 1 card. What the heck do we do? In terms of big enemies in the deck, there's 1 more star spawn, 1 more star vampire, and then everything else is smaller. So we the bell curve, we hit one end of it pretty hard. Guns don't work at this location, which is still fascinating text, but I think we have to sit here and make a plan. Because we need to have a plan. What is our plan? At a minimum, we can always pull out to the Western Athenaeum. And at the Western Athenaeum, we can basically we dodge 2 things. We get away from the monster star spawn because of massive. We have to move 1 more for Hunter. And then we can move all the way down to the summit. This summit is relatively safe because the west is going to blow. This is going to blow east first. What's really funny, oh no, because the enemy phase happens before the end of the round. Of course it does. But yeah, we can move here and then just hope. We also could spend clues and get a location in here. We have 3 clues, so we're not guaranteed, but we're 75% chance of getting the location we can advance. And if we advance, I'm assuming all the enemies just delete themselves, which would be pretty sick. So there's a chance we might just shoot the moon and go for an advance, which probably is correct. Let's be honest. So if that's the case, if we can get 1 more clue here, we could guarantee it, but 75% is pretty guaranteed, right? The issue is if we mess up, this is a really big problem, is if we look at 3 locations and we do not find whatever we're looking for, whatever the name of the location is, that means the location we're looking for is the next card by default. And if it's the next card, the only place that we can put into play is all the way over there. And later, if that blows out, which it is going to blow out in maybe 2 turns, we have to go through the whole dang deck again to get the next location, right? Like 75% is pretty good odds, but if we whiff the 75%, it costs us like 3 whole turns to fix it. So do you think we get the last clue there? Or sorry, the 4th clue there? And then do the thing, or do you just roll 75%? I feel like we're so far behind, we have to take a shot. We just have to take our 75% chance. Even a 50% chance when we're this far behind is probably worth it. So that's the case. We're going to use Ollie, and we're just going to move here, and because if it's a massive enemy, it doesn't come with us. Problem 2 and 3, or 1 and 2 solve. Problem 3 is this guy, which this guy's okay. Now, the issue with the Polished Cane is that because this thing is elite and we don't evade it, but we can just hit it for 1. I don't think it's our priority right now. I think our priority is to evade it and see what happens with the story. So we're just going to do an evade. We're just going to do 6 to 2 off of the inescapable. See if we can actually escape it. You also can defeat this in this story, mind you. And then you have fewer problems. Skulls -2, so we actually succeed by 2, which is a nice little wrinkle. So we have 3 more actions. I'm going to spend an action and spend a clue, and we're going to do the text on the act, and we're going to look at 3 from the bottom of the deck and hope that we get the thing that we want. So one of these 3 locations is the central spire. If it's not here, we are hyper cooked. Oh, God. We failed a 75% chance. Are you kidding me? Just for like sanity check that we didn't mess it up. The bottom card of the deck should be the central spire. It is. That's brutal. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's so bad. That's the only other location. Do we have to put these in play? You may put 1 reveal location into play. Oh, we meant to spend X clues. Sorry, we meant to spend 3 clues. So we don't have to put these in play. And we probably shouldn't. The issue is we need to get a clue. So we probably have to go back to the magnetic spires. Because if we put these in play, okay, hold on. We could put 1 of these in play. We'll read what the text is because they might help, but then we can still just go back here, get a clue, and then do that next turn. So we might not be cooked. The issue is the western winds blows the middle east. Oh, God, it's so confusing. The wind that comes from the west blows east. So we're going to be pushed the wrong way, but that's okay. This won't blow out for maybe a turn, unless there's an encounter card that blows it out. But let's just read these cards to see if there's anything that's worth knowing. Hanging ship. Man, 75% chance you fail, 25% of the chance. After you end your turn, this location tests X agility, where X is the number of investigators at the location. If you fail, discard hanging ship, which means the location becomes air and you have to take 2 direct damage and you're thrown back to the central location. Pretty cool text. As an action, each investigator at this location can spend a clue to slide hanging ship onto an adjacent open sky. There's no open sky here, so that's not super relevant. 4 clues, 2 shrouds, not bad though. Obviously it has downside text. We have the Ancient Canyons. Ancient Canyons. 3 shroud, 1 clue. After you reveal this location, test 1 agility. If you fail, search the encounter deck and discard Pelver a monster and spawn it and engage with you. And as an action, you can put the set aside Sky Relic asset into play under your control. Sky Relic is a relic that you can translate. I don't think we need it, but this is not the Sky Hook, which is what we want. But that is something that's worth knowing, that will be in the top 3 of the deck maybe. And finally, we have the Suspended Reef. Suspended Reef is 3 shroud, 2 clues. After you end your turn of this, you must either discard a card at random or take a damage. We can always take a damage. We can put it on the barrier node. During your turn, spend a clue fast. Choose an enemy at a summit location up to 3 connecting locations away. Swap places with the chosen enemy, ignoring its location's force effect. Well, that's actually quite good. Whoa, that's really, really good. Choose an enemy at a summit location up to 3. That's very good. Okay. So do you have to enter if you do the act text? The act says reveal X cards from the bottom. You may put a reveal location into play and move to it. So if we put into play, we also move to it. So I'm unfortunately wasting 3 clues here, and we'll put this on top of the deck. In theory, we know the order, so you could put them face up. I'm not going to. I'm going to put the one that has the relic on it on the bottom, and then we'll put the Suspended Reef on that. So we know the location we want on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we spent 2 actions. We have 2 more actions. The issue is if we move to the magnetic spires and investigate and pull the fish face, we take 4 damage. Again, are we that far behind that we have to do that? Maybe. 3rd action, we're going to go here. Last action, we're going to use the Thieves Kit. And if this also messes up, we are just cursed. Like there's nothing to say about it besides just cursed. But if we pull the fish face, we're going to take 4 damage, technically 3 damage with the barrier node because of this. And I don't know what to do about that. 6 to 2. -1, good. We get a clue, which we need that to be able to leave. And we get a resource, which is always good to have those. And that's that. Okay, we survived, sort of. This thing will wake up in a second. This thing will hunt. We're going to choose to bring it to us so that we don't have to worry about where we're going. And then this thing will wake up. Card and credit. We draw manual dexterity, which that's fine. That's just 2 agility and a card draw to whoever's performing the test now. That's a little text change for you. And that's it. Western wins. So we're now going to pull 2 tokens, if I'm not mistaken. So if they're non-Elder Sign symbols, that's an Elder Sign symbol. So we're blowing. We're now further away from where we need to go. So shuffle the rightmost Open Sky Summit in rows 2 and 4. Now we don't have a 4 yet, but that's what this board is going to get bigger. So this goes on top. These all slide down, so we're further away from where we need to go. And then, oh no, where we need to go? Wait a second, that's sick. This is where we need to go. Again, tracking the locations is so important, but that is where we need to go. That is actually the best outcome. Flip this card, we're now in East mode. Okay, never mind, I'm stoked. Sign me up. That's best outcome. Best outcome, we save a clue. So good, okay. Doom? Encounter card. You wanna see another 6 health enemy? Oh, it's St. Elmo's Fire, this card's sick. Really interesting design. I don't know why we haven't seen something like this. I think we've seen things like this, but not exactly this. So attach St. Elmo's Fire to the nearest location without St. Elmo's Fire. When the round ends, each investigator's location takes 1 damage. Attach St. Elmo Fire to an adjacent location. So when the round ends, it just zaps people and moves. Which for Barrier Node, that's pretty good. But it's just like a nice little fire effect that you have to dodge around. It's really cool. It encourages you to move. I like things like that a fair bit. Okay, so not so bad. The one little cheeky thing we can do here is this is a 2 shroud location, so we can't just get our Thieves Kit worth while we're here. We need to make sure that we draw into our thing soon. And notice how many cards we're not drawing every round because you can't take draw actions and we haven't found our cigarettes. But we need to naturally draw into our lockpick, so we're going to be in a bad situation. At a minimum, if we draw into well connected, that'll probably get us there because we can boost our medium book stat a fair bit. Because if we have 8 resources, right, we'll get to a 5 book stat once a turn, which is like just about good enough. But I'm going to start here. If this thing jumps on us, so be it. Then we can still move and leave and do that stuff. So we'll start with a Thieves Kit here, and we're going to do 6 to 2. We should be able to recover this. Okay, that's not good. I do want to check the text on the act. I think it's when you enter. Yeah, if each surviving is at Central Spire, so this will advance pretty quickly. I mean, we're going to do it again. It sucks to miss the Thieves Kit, but 6 to 2. We pulled 2 autofails so far. -1, so 5 to 2. We get a clue. We get a resource. We get an action. Okay. We're going to use Olivia Bishop. We're going to enter the summit. Summit text again is a 6 to 2, and if we mess it up, we basically lose an action. We're not going to spend a clue unless we really need to last action. But we have 2 more actions at this point. 6 to 2, +1. Nailed it. We reveal immediately the Central Spire. So we have to advance. Let's just read the text on this because it's going to get some clues, and I think this will be where we start. So cannot be moved or leave play. It now has a central clause. As an action, you can spend 1 to 3 resources to place that many clues on a revealed location. So same text. It's funny that the thing that we're looking for is literally 1 location away, but you know that's not the way it started. So we have to advance now, which means we have to look at the back of Scouring the Spires, which is called Floating Skyline. Okay. At the tower's apex, you see Relia in total. Some ancient calamity leveled the city, sending a shockwave so strong that the twisted spires are bent like blades of glass. What could have caused such great destruction? Remove Relia's streets from the game, ignoring its text box. It says it can't, but we can now. Shuffle each open sky and summit location in play, except for the central sky, into the summit deck. Each card and token of these locations is discarded. So we've managed to discard all these enemies, which is pretty dang good. That's 17 damage in a single action. So we discard all of these. The city has been leveled. Oh no, the poor city. It seems fine. So, okay, hold on. So what do we have to do? Remove the Relia streets, shuffle each copy of Sky and Open Sky and summit locations in play, except for this. Okay, so it's hard to shuffle when you can see the backs. I'm assuming it wants us to flip them back over. It says summit, right? Oh, these are still summit locations? That's another like weird, awkward thing is that, okay, so it says each open sky and summit locations. And I have no doubt people are going to be confused about this because the backs of these are called summits, but the front of them are of the summit trait. And I'm assuming it wants you to shuffle the summit trait because that's the same font, but I could see some people only shuffling the summit cards. And as soon as I say that, I'm not confident I'm doing it correct anyways, but I think you're meant to shuffle literally every single card functionally. So let me know if that's not the case, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this, right? Oh, this sucks because we shuffled the victory card away. Oh, that's awful because you want this to blow out because then it thins the deck. Because, yeah, is it a summit? Are you not meant to shuffle these cards? What is this thing called? He's crashing out. I don't know what the rules want me to do here. In each summit location in play, because that is of that font and bolded, I think that means everything with a summit trade, which is literally every single location. Because it's either summit or central or really, yeah. So I'm just going to shuffle everything. If that's not the case, I don't know what to do. Okay. Ignoring this text box, shuffle each open side and summit location in play, except the central, into the summit deck. So now counting the deck was worthless. So they're all there. Our choices didn't matter too much at this point, but we had some good ideas. Okay. Put 5 of the set aside open sky cards into play as shown in Act 2 location placement diagram and a campaign guide. Fill each remaining row and column above, below, and to the right of the central spire with the bottom card of the summit deck until there are 3 rows and 5 columns. Whoa. Okay. So we have no idea what side they're going to be on. And then we shuffle the set aside floating spire and aerial waterfall locations into the top 3 of the summit deck. This is now ugly because we're no longer allowed to look at the deck like this and splay it and do card counting because you'll see the order that the cards are coming up. However, you can still numerically do card counting, which is annoying, right? But like tracking exactly where the card can be is so important because the difference of not knowing or knowing 100% that's in one of these 2 locations is obviously like a massive time sink in this scenario. Now we know how many cards this deck is. It's countable, but we can no longer track the way that we want to. So the only way to track this is know how many cards are in the deck and then like use dice to remember that. I don't think we're going to do that, but I think you should do that because you're allowed to track where this is technically. Okay, so let's see the diagram. So the Act 2 location, this is Act 1 that we just did. So again, things are just going to get bigger and bigger. So we're here. It wants us to put open sky in a couple locations. So these will be from the new deck. So this deck is just getting bigger. So we'll do 1 there, here, and then here. We can keep this off camera. We don't need to show this. The backs of those don't matter, mind you. Okay. Fill each remaining row and column above, below, to the right of central spire with the bottom card of the summit deck until there are 3 rows and 5 columns. So I'm just going to go left to right, top to bottom. So we'll do 1, 1. Okay, it's something like that. That seems good. Now we can count this. 1, 2. Technically, we can't look at it. We'll shuffle it after. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 cards in here. We're going to shuffle the floating spires and the aerial waterfall into the top 3. So there will be 11 cards in here. And we're looking at the top 5. So we can count the bottom 6 that fall out of the deck. So we're going to stop here. Then we're going to take 3 cards. We're not going to look at the top of that deck. We're going to shuffle in the floating spire and the aerial waterfall into these top 3 without looking at what they are. So there's 5 here on top of 6 here. Yeah, got to shuffle those, I guess, now. Shouldn't have looked at that. And so now we know 6 cards have to leave before the chance of us finding the card we want. So at least we can remember that without looking at the deck. Cool. Okay. So now we go on to Act 2. And that Act 2 is called Deadly Skies. So let's see if our thing fixes itself. So if I do this, does it update? Yeah, it does. Sick. All right. I'm assuming this is the same text. Deadly Skies. A distant waterfall and gravity-defying spire beckon you forward. So spend X clues to reveal X cards from the bottom of the summit deck. You may put a revealed location into play, and it is adjacent open sky spot and move to it. Exact same text. Our objective is each investigator is at a floating spire. So there's 2 cards we added to the top 5 of the deck. One of them is a floating spire. The other one probably is important. And there is 2 more glyphs I think we can translate that we do care about. Me after playing Measured Response for the 3rd time in a turn. Oh no, the city. Think of the investors. Okay, so we did failed clue, successful clue, fast action, and now we're here. It got quiet out here because all those enemies got discarded, which is pretty sick. But when this thing advances, we're going to get another enemy from the top of the deck, so that's good. This has 3 Shroud on it, so we're not guaranteed. We have used our Olivier this turn, so that should be exhausted. We could do a 6-3 and just hope. We probably should just be drawing cards here, I'll be honest, because if we don't get our Thieves Kit, we're in a bad spot. If we don't find our cigarette case, we're in a bad spot. Also, failing a test is now a bit more expensive because we have Unaware, so I don't know if we want to do that. Third action's okay, fourth action's not okay. So I'm going to do third action draw. Okay, out the door, we got money. So at this point, there's now like 6 cards in our deck we really want to draw into. We want to draw into any copy of our lockpicks and any copy of Well Connected because the money's coming in. So I think fourth action, we're just going to draw. There's no enemy we can draw from our deck, and it's fate worse than drawing no card. I'm kidding. It's Andy Van Nordvik. We won't play him. We don't have charisma. He doesn't do anything. 2 book icons. At least we can commit him if we need to the Thieves Kit. And that's it. Upkeep, card and credit. We're at 10 resources, which is good. And we draw into a breaking and entering, which is okay as well. This is just a good old evade attached to an automatically evade attached to a clue, which is fine. It also is just a pretty good boost, kind of like a Thieves Kit. Or sorry, yeah, like a lockpicks. All right, Eastern Winds. We're in a safe spot. I realized it's central, so it won't blow out. So we're going to have to reveal 2 non-symbol Elder Sign symbol tokens. 0 and 3, so we're good. Nothing gets blown around. As much as we do want the wind to blow because it draws cards naturally from the bottom of the deck. Okay, Doom. Go to 2 of 3. We draw a card. Aerial Pursuit. This has Surge. I don't think this does anything because we're at a central location, but I might be wrong. This is a new card, so I'm not super familiar with it. This is the one that is from Chapter 2. So the nearest non-elite enemy moves once towards you. If it engages you, makes an immediate attack. Okay, Surge. Bat Horror. Okay, so we have an enemy. This enemy is actually really quite sick. I like this enemy a lot. So it's on us, but it has Elusive and Hunter. So even if we attack it and fail the test, it will be evaded and it will... Oh, sorry, it won't be evaded. It'll just run away. And wait, does Elusive evade when you hit it? Huh? It's been a minute. Elusive, if like, even if you fail, Elusive exhausts, right? This is not the book I want, right? No, Elusive is here. If after a ready enemy with Elusive keyword attacks or is attacked, the enemy moves to connecting location and exhausts. Yeah, so exhausts even if we fail, but we probably shouldn't fail. Really cool enemy. Doesn't hit that hard, so we're okay with this. Okay, so our plan is hit the bat. Olivier into here. This is 6-3. This is probably about the same, if not worse. Could be worse. Elusive disengages, moves, then exhausts. Never use the word evade, though. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't evade, it exhausts. Those are technically different things. So we can send it into the air. That's fine. It doesn't matter. And Elusive will move to an empty location, which in this case, they're all empty. We, in theory, could just like Olivier Bishop into here first, but I think we should just hit this with a stick because then we can put more distance between us and it. So first action, we're going to use our Polished Cane and we're going to attack. So we're going to add our 2 stats together. So we're adding 6 plus 2. So we're at 8 to, what's the test on the Bat Horrors? Like 3 attack, I think. So we're 8-3. This is the Witching Hour, mind you. -3, so 5-3, still succeed by 2. We're going to knock it for 1 damage and we're going to exhaust it, but it exhausts itself, so that's fine. Cool. So we have 3 more actions. We're going to just use Olivier and we're going to enter the summit. So this summit, like all summits, has the same text. We just have to do 2 agility tests, so 6-2. It's a nice way to be able to move and get yourself an additional action by just Oliviering in and immediately having a 4 action turn. I think that's pretty good. Auto fail. So we fail. Oh. So if you fail, you cancel the effects of the move. Okay. So we just lost our Olivier from that turn. I mean, I think we're just going to do it again. So now we're going to use our second of 4 actions just to enter and do it again. Mind you, the auto fail, which we did fail by 2. Oh, we're not going to do Prove Your Worth. That's fine. This scenario, we don't have time to do this. We're just going to try again. 6-2. There's no reason to boost this. It's auto fail or bust, unfortunately. -4, so we do still pass. We reveal, and these should be locations we haven't seen before. Actually, no, we full shuffled. It doesn't really matter. Suspended Reef. We saw this at the top. 3 Shroud, 2 Clues, so same amount of Shroud. After you end your turn at this location, you must either discard randomly from your hand or take a damage. We're fine taking a damage because at least that doesn't barrier node, puts it to work. And during your turn, you can spend a clue to choose an enemy at a summon location up to 3 connecting locations away and swap places with them, which doesn't matter when we draw it here, but I guess that's okay. Okay, we know that we need to get through the bottom 6 cards. It's likely that we're going to pull 2 cards off the bottom of the deck this turn. So pulling 2 is fine. It gives us a free move as well. I think 3 Shroud is the average Shroud. So we could just try a Thieves' Kit here and go 6 to 3 and hope. We could also just put manual dexterity into this. I don't know if there's going to be a better evade test that it works boosting into. We just want the card draw. So I think for our third real action, we're going to use Thieves' Kit. And we're going to use a manual dexterity to boost ourselves up to 8 to 3. -2. So we get a clue. We get a resource. We draw a card first. We drew a 1903 Hammerless, so we have another gun if we need it. And this is a pretty good gun. Okay. So we're at 11 resources. We still want to keep drawing through our deck. We have one more action here. We could do one more Thieves' Kit, and the Thieves' Kit is relatively empty, which is not good. We want to use our Thieves' Kit generally on the 3 Shroud locations because, well, 3 Shroud is difficult. I don't know. Maybe we should just out the door here, but I could see us using out the door on something where we are using our book stat and boosting our book stat by 1 might be a bit better. I could see us drawing here as well, because again, there's still 2 well-connected and 2 lockpicks in our deck and 2 cigarette cases. So there's like 6 cards we could draw into. That'd be pretty good. Oh, we actually were meant to draw a card from Unaware. We forgot. Oh, we failed a skill test. So we had to interrupt that a long time ago. So this is the first time we fail a skill test, which would have been back there when we tried to move into the next location. So let's draw this and hopefully it doesn't change our turn. It does. It really does. So I guess our whole turn's kind of goofed. But this is the Primeval of Terror. Patrol, nearest empty summon location. It cannot make attacks of opportunity. Okay, so that's good. At least we worked well with that. And it says, while engaged with this enemy, you may enter open sky as if it were a location. So you actually ride on this thing's back. If you defeat or disengage from this enemy while at open sky, you are defeated and suffer a physical trauma. So if this thing gets knocked out while you're flying with it, you do get knocked out. That was the best card we could have drawn here because firstly, it discards Unaware because it's an enemy, but also this card allows you to legally just like tank through the turn. So that kind of forces us to last action, deal with this thing. We're really lucky there. So we're going to use our Polished Cane. Polished Cane doesn't exhaust, right? No, you may exhaust evade, so it will exhaust here. So we're going to hit it with the Polished Cane. We're 6 to 2. Sorry, we're not 6 to 2. We're 8 to 2. Fish Face -4. Think? No, actually, it's draw another token, right? So I guess we'll have to pull one out of the bag. So if there's an enemy location, reveal another token. So we're currently 6 to 2 still. So we're still in a good spot. Skulls -2. So we succeed by 2. But we will choose to exhaust our Polished Cane to hit it for 1 damage and exhaust it. So we can still ride with it next turn if we need to, but that's not too bad. Okay, upkeep. Card and resource. We're going to advance here. We draw another Mandex. He's ready. This readies. This readies. This wakes up. This engages us. And we have to blow the wind, which actually means that there's a chance that this bat gets blown away. So that's a really funny way to send the bat. So eastern winds, which blows west. We have to reveal 2 tokens from this. We got autofail +1, pretty good spread. So we have to do the text. So shuffle the leftmost open sky / summit location in rows 1 to 3. Yeah, so this is going to get discarded. There's no reason to shuffle these because they are identical. They never flip over, so they just go on top. These slide in. And then we replace these with the bottom. We're going to do top to bottom. But I don't think it tells you the order you're meant to refill this if there's an advantageous order. So open sky. Open sky. So we know the card we're looking for is above the next 4 cards. Cool. Okay, so another enemy is going to be showing up in a second. Because we advance, we're going to put another Doom on this. So Doom hits 3, which for our act is going to advance. So I realize I need to now make a way that whenever I hit the advance button, it'll tell me the name of the next agenda. Because when the agendas are on the table, it's harder to check. So Raging Gales is what we're looking for here. Raging Gales. Okay. So this text is going to be a bit repetitive, but if the current storm intensity is 6 or more, we are defeated and take a physical trauma. So this is going to go up to 3 of 6. Otherwise, add a resource to the storm intensity, discard cards until there's an enemy, and if the intensity is 3 or less, that enemy enters play exhausted and unengaged. So that's good. We'll set the Doom back to 0, and we just go grab an enemy. It's another Primeval Terror. It's here. It's exhausted. That's fine. These things do have patrol, so they will come to locations. I'm not sure what the patrol is. Oh, it should be a 2. The patrol is nearest empty summit location. Okay, so they won't bother us if our location, because they only go to empty locations. So they're actually not that bad at all. They do hit for 2 though if you draw something, or we can add Doom on them if we draw something. So leaving them at 1 health is not the worst thing. Okay, we draw an encounter card. Acrophobia, which I'm pretty sure is fear of heights, right? Test 1 willpower. This test gets +1 difficulty for each open sky adjacent to your location. That's such good flavor. For each point you fail by, you must either lose an action, and I think it's lose an action on your next turn. That used to not be the case, or take a horror. We're okay to take a bit of a horror here. We're at 2-2, which means we can still fail by 2. It's not really worth boosting into. The only cards that boost into this is our Easy Street, which boosts in for 3. But the worst case here is like we lose an action, take 1 horror, which is not bad. And I think we're at the point where Prove Your Worth is just going to fail, let's be honest. So I think we're just going to do 2 and hope. Good old hope. Elder Sign 1 time. Never mind, auto fail. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. So we fail. We're going to lose, I think, 1 action and take 1 horror. It might be right to take 2 horror, and we've just failed Prove Your Worth. So I'm just going to take it off the table. I'll just tuck it here, actually, as a reminder of what we failed. But yeah, our task, I think we can still complete because we chose the like selfless option, I think. But yeah, we have to now take 1 more horror, which we have no horror healing and no horror soak besides the 2nd copy of Ollie Bishop. We haven't seen a lot of horror in the deck so far. That should go back in. Losing an action is pretty bad because you're basically saying your action is heal a horror. I would not take a heal a horror as an action, so I'm just gonna take another horror and take 4 actions. Because yeah, functionally an action to heal a horror is not a good trade. We don't take those. Okay, so what can we do? Oh, we have to flip this. West. So now it's blowing rows 2 and 4. So this is blowing eastward, which means a new location is going to enter here, which means if we reveal 3 locations, we're now at the point where all the locations we want are in the next 5 cards. So revealing 3 locations here would be the most efficient, which means we can just go and spend 3 clues to look at this location. Spending more clues is also good because we can go find a glyph or something we care about. So I do think we'll spend the clues. So we're going to start with Thieves' Kit here. Like, we need to continue to draw cards, and notably the thing on us doesn't do Attack of Opportunity, so we can just do this. So spend a Thieves' Kit charge and do 6 to 3. And I'm just going to do Manual Dexterity to make it 8 to 3 to get the card draw and to nearly guarantee the test. Come on, Elder Sign, 1 time. -1. Okay, so we succeed. We draw a card. That's perfect. Just in time. Lockpicks is what we need. So now we're going to be able to get a clue a turn for sure. We get this. We get a clue, we get a resource, and we get an action. So that's really good. Next action. Out of our 4, we're going to spend 3 clues, and we're going to do the text on the act. So we're going to spend 3 clues. Yeah. And now we can look at 3 cards. And once the wind blows the 4th card in, all the places we're going to be looking are at the next ones. So I think this is the most efficient way to do it. Again, spend X clues. We spend 3, look at 3 cards. We can pull one of them into play here and then move to it. So we'll look at 3 from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. So they're all summits, which is good. We've seen all of these. Oh no, we haven't seen this one. Okay, so this one is going to be important because it has a thing on it. So this is the Obsidian Canyons, or sorry, Obsidian Cliffs. So this one's new. Foreshadow 1 clue, victory 1. As an action, choose an adjacent open sky, which there are none. Test 3 intellect. If you succeed, put the set aside glyph orrery into play in the chosen open sky. So this is not worth it. Next turn, this is going to be blowing to the east. So actually there's a chance that the place that we're at ends up here, and then there'll be open sky adjacent. So this is probably what we go for. It's also like Foreshadow, which is pretty high, but we're going to play our lockpicks in a second. The other options are Suspended Reef, which we're on, which is 3 Shroud and allows us to move. And then there's the Ancient Canyons, which is another one that technically is relevant. I don't think it actually is relevant. In terms of the icon, the symbol, I'm not sure which symbol do we need. I don't think we need that symbol. But this is also not bad. 3 Shroud, 1 clue. I think I'm gonna go for the interesting one because the interesting one is interesting. So we're gonna put Obsidian Cliffs into play. Yeah, we'll do that one. So this and the ones that we don't take get shuffled together. Comes out. And then those just go on the top. We'll do 1, look up, cut. Let's go to the top. And then we end up here. So Foreshadow 1 clue, victory 1. Now its text is not relevant here. Our hands are full. We in theory want to use the Thieves Kit before we lose the last charge because it's like gain a resource, gain a clue, but we're not great at getting the clue here. I think we can just try and do 6 to 4 because we've already lost our Prove Your Worth, so we don't exactly care. So I'm okay here. We've done 1, 2, so we have 2 more actions. So we can just do Thieves Kit and then hit this thing with a cane. I guess if that's the case, we might as well just hit it with the cane first. So we're going to use the Polished Cane on this thing. So we're going to fight it. 8 to 2. It's also better that we got rid of this first. Actually, it was way better that we got rid of this first in like immediate hindsight. Because I forgot that the symbol here on the bottom of the fish face is -2 if there's an enemy at your location, reveal another token. It's not if you're interacting with that enemy. So we definitely want to get rid of the enemy before we do anything else. So what we did was strictly wrong. We should have hit this first before anything else. I guess we'll do it now. We also could Olivia Bishop here, but I don't think we will. So we're going to hit this thing 8 to 2. -3. It's knocked out. I swear there's an Elder Sign in there. And then last action, we'll just use the last Thieves Kit charge, and we're just going to be investigating 6 to 4. No big reason to boost this. We actually should out the door this, right? Yeah, we should. So we're going to out the door here. So it's 8 to 4, we'll gain 4. And 8 to 4 is really good. 17 resources. We just need a well connected. And some cigarettes. -1, we get it. So we get the last clue, which is another resource. And technically that's a victory location if this thing gets blown out. And of course a clue. Okay, good turn. That was 4 actions, really good turn. We're not gonna use Olivier Bishop here because I think we wanna be here and we want the wind to make this have a connecting location so we can do the text on it. Top decking a well connected would be fantastic because we're at the Obsidian Cliffs and the Obsidian Cliffs wants us to do a book test. I guess we could at least throw Andy and Van Nordvik's to book at it and that would be okay, but not bad. This will wake up. We'll wake up all our cards. We'll do card and credit. Another easy street. That's great. This card is just like a nice little panic button when it matters because this is going to be, it can't get more than 4 wilds, but yes, it's at 4 wilds. We're at 19 resources, the most resources that we've ever had at a single time. I think that's mostly emptying 2 out the doors and 2 Thieves Kits, as much as we still have 2 Watch Thises in the deck. All right, Western Winds, we're going to be revealing 3 tokens. Elder Sign, so that doesn't count. -2 and Fish Face. Okay, so that's good. The winds are now going to blow. So I'm pretty sure we have this down pat now. So shuffle the rightmost Open Sky and Summit. So these 2. Shuffling doesn't matter. Excuse me. Oh no, this is wrong. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. Rows 2. Western wind blows east. Yeah. Am I doing this wrong? Western wind blows east. Yeah, so this goes on the top. We slide over. This can't move. And then this spawns a location. So now we know, I'm pretty sure now we know that the location we want is in the next 5 cards because we've just gone through 6 cards. We looked at 3 and the map has spawned 3. So the thing that we want is guaranteed in the next 5 cards because we've looked at 6. That's really important to know, let alone the Obsidian Cliffs now has neighboring locations. This flips to east. Good. Doom goes to 1. We draw a card. It's an infected star spawn. That's the last big star spawn. So this one's honest, 2, 3, 4, but I think you have to defeat this twice, right? Because that's too low of a number. The first time it's Hunter Relentless, hits for horror. The first time this enemy would be defeated, heal all damage from it and ready it. And when you reveal a fish face while fighting or evading this thing, you have to take a horror. So this one's also really hard to get rid of. Technically, if you can blank the text, but I don't think there's a thing in the game that allows you to blank the text of an elite. But that's now just on us. That sucks. Not good. All right, we're gonna evade it. The problem is we're evading at 6 to 4. So this would be a good reason to keep a manual dexterity, but we didn't. Also, it would have been fine to breaking and entering this location, but also there's no clues on it. So we're probably not going to do that. If we want to do the action on Obsidian Cliffs, we only end up taking 1 horror, and that could be worth it. Obsidian Cliffs. Right? So I don't know the text of the location this reveals, but if this reveals a location, it says, put the glyph orrery into play. If the glyph orrery comes into play and has a clue on it, we can move to it fast with Olivier Bishop and then breaking and entering to get rid of the star spawn or evade the star spawn. I mean, maybe, but firstly, when we have to test this test, we have to beat this test, a 3 book, and the best we can do is, well, we can easy street it to force it. So that's probably okay. So we can end up taking 1 horror here instead of doing a 6 to 4 and hoping. But a 6 to 4 and hoping is not the worst. This thing is elite, so we can't just hit it with the cane. Well, we can hit it with the cane. We just have to hit it with the cane a lot. This thing also has patrol, so it'll go to the nearest empty summit location, so it won't come to us. So this thing is not a concern, really. But I think we just have to evade this 6-4. This is the highest evade thing we've seen in the campaign so far, besides the bat horror, technically, but that doesn't really matter. You just like attack it, even if you fail, it runs away. I don't think we easy street this evade unless we fail it once. So let's try and evade this thing 6-4. There's some really bad icons here. We can add a doom. Oh man, wait, no, that we can't do that. Like it's so bad now because we're on the witching hour. And if we pull the -4, it places a doom on the nearest enemy and we lose 4 actions because we're Andy, right? Like we just basically have to be +4 in every test we do at this point forward because it loses us again 4 actions in this scenario. I don't think we can afford to do that. Because there's 3 of those in the bag. I think we'll do a bag check real quickly, but there should be 3 of those. Nope, just 2 of them. Okay, so I'm overreacting. There's just 2 of them. So it's 2 cultists, 2 fish face, 2 skull. And then the normal spread. Oh no, there's 3. There's 3. I was right. Okay, there's 3. It was off camera. Yeah, so there's 3. So that is the most likely tablet to pull. We've been really lucky not pulling them. But if we pull that on the 1 doom, it has to go on this thing, and this thing we can't defeat this turn. We can't do 6 damage. So I don't think we can safely test at not +4. So I think we have to easy street it. If we do polish cane, polish cane, polish cane, polish cane, polish cane, it'd actually be really nice if we top decked push it off the roof, because then we could defeat this thing. We could do like 3 polished canes into push it off the roof. Oh no, but we have to evade it, so no, we can't even do that. All right, we're gonna evade it. We're at 6. We're gonna do an easy street. Easy street gives us +4, so we're at 10-4. Oh, hold on. We can move here. I realized we could all of a bishop into here, and if we all of a bishop into here, we can breaking and entering it. That might be better. Then we just move back, do that test. Yeah, that's better. I forgot we could go here. This location might not be worth anything, but it might be worth just going to in general. So I think we're going to start with that. Yeah, that's way better because I don't want to use this easy street unless we really have to. So we're going to use all of you here, and we're going to just enter this location, and we just need to pass the summit test, which, like, again, we usually do. 6-2. I'm not going to spend a clue on this. -3 on the skull. So we don't get an action back, but we do enter this location. It's a dazzling skyline. Oh no, we take a horror. The same text as if we did just dealt with it. So 1 shroud's nice. After you reveal dazzling skyline, take a horror. So I guess we'll take it to our face. Spend 1 to 3 clues as an action. For each clue spent, reveal the bottom 3 cards of the summit deck. You may place those cards on either the top or the bottom of the summit deck in any order. So we know the things that we're looking for are in the bottom 5. So in theory, if we spend 2 clues, the eastern winds are blowing, so it will guarantee we can actually spend. Hold on. If we have 2 clues, we can actually spend 2 clues and guarantee the locations that we want are here and here. Guarantee if the winds blow. That's actually pretty good. Because we want to just look at 6 cards, which is going to find the waterfall and going to find the location we need to go to, which would be pretty slick. That would be pretty slick. Because if the winds blow east, 1 and 3 go right, they go to the west, and then we'll have 2 locations here, and that seems good. I could see us doing that text, actually. That's not bad text. And we'll have 3 clues. All right, breaking and entering. We're going to play as our first action. It sucks to do this on a 1 shroud location, but whatever. So we're going to add our 2 stats together. So we're at 6 + 3, we're at 9. 9-1. And if we succeed by 2 or more, we should be able to evade an enemy. Avoids attack of opportunity. -2, so we get an action back. We get the clue. We evade this thing. All right, so we have 3 more actions. Okay, so we definitely want to play our lockpicks. We also can still go and do the Obsidian Cliffs thing if we want to. It puts the orrery into play. I think the orrery, we might need to do the orrery. It says, you can see what the symbol is. We obviously don't know what it means, but that symbol, I'm not sure if it shows up on the claw or not. I don't know if it does. We obviously don't have that symbol. We can start hitting this thing too, which is not probably worth it. We do attack good, but it's a lot of actions to defeat this thing. And at this point, victory, I'd rather just like not die because we don't have that many more turns left. Yeah. I think we're going to do the thing. We're going to do this test on them, or the action on Dazzling Skyline. The Dazzling Skyline, we're going to spend 2 clues. So we're going to look at the bottom 6 of the summon deck, and you may place those cards on the top of the bottom of the deck in our choice of order. So my guess is the bottom 5 has to have our location. So we're going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to see a 6th card. So these we can put in any order. These 2 don't matter. And then our locations are here. So yeah, Aerial Waterfall and the Eastern Athenaeum and the Floating Spires. So unfortunately, we found 3 interesting locations. The Western Athenaeum, that's one we've cleared so far. But the 3 locations here, and I think one of them we do need for sure for our for the thing that we're on. So we're going to put this as the next card above, as much as the deck's going to shuffle. So this is the Eastern Athenaeum, 1 shroud, 1 clue. As an action, spend a clue as a group, you discover the glyph. So that's something that's easy to do. So we could put that next. We can put 2 on the bottom and they'll come in up there. Next, we have the Aerial Waterfall, which in terms of the act, what do we need? The act wants us to go to the Floating Spire, not to the Aerial Waterfall. But the Aerial Waterfall has the claw. So we have to go there. During your turn, spend a clue, choose any revealed summon location and move to it. That's absurdly good text. As an action, spend a clue to put the set aside Obsidian Claw story as into play under your control of any investigator. We need to get that. The claw is the best thing possible for like 17 different reasons. So this we're definitely going to put in play. And then the Floating Spire. The issue with the Floating Spire is if we put a 3 down, it's going to end up like all the way over here eventually when this blows out that way. It'll show up here, which is pretty far away. But this is where we need to go to. It's just a central location, which will advance the act. So we have a lot of control. So I think we're going to put the Eastern Athenaeum. We're going to put these 3 on the top. I guess we'll put the Western Athenaeum on the bottom. Oh, no, we actually want open at the bottom, I think. And then we're going to put Floating Spire and Aerial Waterfall. We're going to put the Aerial Waterfall on the bottom, Floating Spire on that, and then Summit. So we know the waterfall, which we want, is on the bottom. Okay, so now we just want the wind to blow, which if it doesn't, we can at least force it by spending a clue. Actually, we don't have a clue, but we could. If we got a clue. Okay, so we spent fast move, breaking and entering, action. I think we hit this thing with a stick a couple times, and we play our lockpicks. Yeah, I think that's what we do. We could actually drop our hammer on this and start shooting. That might be fine. Getting rid of this thing is okay. It's awkward, but it's a polished cane and a pistol. So we could like play our in 1903 hammerless shoot, and then it brings us to 1 health with the polished cane, and we can do it again next turn. I think that's actually really good. It's hard to evade though, and that's the issue is that all these weapons we have really need you to have the thing evaded or evade the thing, but if it's elite, you can't. So we actually have to like brute force evade it. We need clues, so we're going to need to play the lockpicks no matter what. So I think we don't play the gun. I think we do just play the lockpicks. So we're going to need these. So we'll pay 3 for our lockpicks as our third action. This is the better lockpicks, cost 3. We pay 3? No. Comes in with 3 charges. And is ready. This adds our stats, so we're investigating at 9. So that's obviously pretty good. And then the last action, I think we might as well just hit it with the polished cane. The other option is to draw. Hitting with the polished cane doesn't hit any good breakpoints if we draw the push it off the roof card, because that does 3 damage. It might actually just be generally better to draw here, which means in theory we shouldn't have played the lockpicks. So we'll undo that. But drawing is just better because we're more likely to find a boost or a card that will help us. Because 1 damage does not hit any meaningful breakpoint. And if we're going to advance, we get rid of the thing anyways. So I'm just going to draw, and then we'll play lockpicks unless we draw something awful. We drew lockpicks. Okay, I'll play lockpicks. That's it. This thing hunts. We'll move it to any empty summit location. Patrol nearest empty summit location. So we can send it backwards. No problem. This thing wakes up on us. We do card and credit. I think things are going okay. I think we actually have a lot of agency, but most of the agency is because we're counting cards, which like, please count cards. We drew a watch this. That's sick. That's actually really good too. If we want to boost into the evade, we can. It might not be a guaranteed money card though, but we don't really need much more money here until we draw well connected. All right, Eastern Winds. We need these to blow. So we're now revealing 3 tokens. Mind you, the skull is -3, and there's no limit. It can go all the way up to -5. At -6, you lose the game. So we need to find a non-Elder Sign symbol. No? Yes. Okay, perfect. That's amazing. -2. So we have to blow. So it's blowing from the east, blowing west. So this goes... We shuffle these. Doesn't really matter. These go on top. These all slide down. And now we know that we can put into play the locations. So we're going to put the waterfall on top and the location we need to go on the bottom. We're going to try and go to the waterfall immediately. That goes there. Cool. That's that. Turns west. The Doom. Draw a card. Not an enemy. It's St. Elmo's Fire. That's perfectly fine. So St. Elmo's Fire just zaps you for damage and moves every round. Hits for 1 at the end of the round, and then it moves to an adjacent location. Follows you, which is fine. We haven't taken a single damage so far, I don't think, because of Barrier Node. Okay, so we have this thing on us. It has 4 evade. That's not going to be easy. We evade at 6-4, which is far from guaranteed. If we boost it with Watch This, it's not a good use of Watch This because we want to be a bit more guaranteed with Watch This. We want to be +5 just to guarantee the +3 resources. So I think the safest thing here we can do is actually an easy street because this beats a lot of awkward things. So we're going to do this. It gives us 4 wilds. So we're 10-4. There's a bit overkill, but there's nothing else in our hand that's worth throwing at this. We could probably do a 6-4. Losing an action feels bad. We need to move fast. That's -4. So good. We would have failed and we would have added a Doom, which that doesn't matter, but we do evade this. And we succeeded by 2, right? Because we did 10-4. -4 is 6-4. Yeah, we're good. So we get an action. Okay, fast. Well, Olivia Bishop will move into the summit. We don't have clues to spend, so we have to do the test. 6-2. Fish face, still good. That's -4 if we fail out of Doom. So we're going to enter the waterfall. I was scared for a second there. And this has just enough clues for us to do the thing on it. So 4 shroud, 2 clues. So second action out of 4. We're going to use our lockpicks here. So yeah. Move to a revealed summit location. Okay, so that's a fast move. We want to spend a clue, which I don't think we do. So we're at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 9-4 for a clue. Older sign, finally. Okay, 6. So that's our hero text. We get 1 resource. I mean, we don't really need it, but it feels good to know that that's in the bag. So we did pull it once during the wind. So we get a clue. We already have our action. Now we can do the test on the aerial waterfall. So the aerial waterfall text says, as an action, which will be our 3rd and 4th action, we'll spend a clue, which we picked up, so we're now back to 0. Put the set aside Obsidian Claw story asset into play under the control of any investigator, speed side face up. So this is such a good card, and I'm so glad we have it. This will open up a lot of things that we can do. So this is the speed side of this. It's a relic, so cannot leave play. It enters on the speed side face up. Now to translate it, we actually can nearly do this. In terms of the icons we're missing, the first icon is a give me. You get that in scenario 1 if you spend the action. And then we need a swirl, kind of like a coda, carabiner, flower thing, and a V. Firstly, I guess we should say what this does. Fast during your turn, exhaust us and choose the location up to 2 connecting locations away, move to that location. This can be the first relic you get in this campaign. The first relic you can get can give you a fast 2 move around. Are you kidding me? That's absurd. That is so absurd. It doesn't have to be revealed locations. You can just move to, and it's fast. It's all of a bishop, but twice as good. Now we have 3 free move a turn. You can flip this over, and the backside also does good stuff. But during your turn, exhaust this move 2 is obviously straight nonsense because we can advance the act at this point by just running over to the next location, which is amazing. Anyways, in terms of translating that, so we have a bunch of these, right? So we have the depths, which is the first one. Second one is the swirl, which I believe we have. That is weather. The third one is the coda, which is earth. Then the carabiner we don't have, but it's in the scenario because it's in the top row. We don't have the plant one, which is the one between depths and elder thing, which we know isn't on the bottom of the deck right now. And then the V one is elder thing. So we're literally missing 2, but they're both in this scenario. So again, we just need the carabiner looking thing and the kind of plant looking thing. So we can translate this and then we can figure out what the black is. But this card is so absurdly good. So I'm glad at least we have it. And speaking of having it, we're going to exhaust this. During your turn, do you move 1 at a time? Choose location up to 2 connecting ways, move to that chosen location. So I don't even know if you move 1 at a time. I think you literally warp. Like that is, we can do that. You just claw, you hook shot your way over there. So if there's enemies in the way, you don't care. This card is so busted compared to every other relic. I don't get it. Anyways, welcome to the summit. And we know the summit is where we're trying to go. If we want to wait a turn, in theory, the other location can come into play, but it doesn't matter. But we got fast travel, let alone because we have fast travel. I don't know if we need to do this text. If you do not control the Obsidian Claw, yeah, we don't actually have to do these tests anymore. So things got a lot easier. We are now hook shotting through the sky and we can reveal this location. And lo and behold, welcome to the floating spire. This is where we needed to go. Good old Slay the Spire. 1 clue. It's central, 4 shroud, and has the same text. Spend 1 to 3 to put clues on. But now, of course, we have to advance. So deeper and deeper we go. Deadly Skies. Objective of each surviving investigator is a floating spire advance. Let's see what's next. So the back of this is called Defying Gravity. All right. Gotta hit this, gotta hit this, gotta hit that, gotta hit this. A shattered frieze depicts a large clawed implement holding 2 broken shards of tower together. A tool like that must be worthwhile acquisition for Tillinghast. Or for us, remove Central Spire from the game, ignoring its text. So that's the location we started at. It's gone. Shuffle each other open sky and summit location in play, aside from the floating spire into the summit deck. Each card and token is discarded. So same thing, we just clean up the board. So less massive as it was before, but still pretty good. We so far have defeated, I think, 1 enemy. So we're just trying to get away. And again, we have 2 fast move a turn. It should be easy to get away. So shuffle each open sky and summon into play into the summit deck. So we're just gonna do a mass clean. So we should flip over everything. And the card that we now know is at the bottom. That's fine. We are notably losing victory every time. The only way to lock in victory is if it blows off the side of the table, which it hasn't. Yeah. Okay. So this gets shuffled in this. We have to check how big this deck is again, and we're gonna do the same thing, except now even bigger to really test how far we can zoom this dang camera out. Put 5 of the set aside open sky cards into play as shown in the Act 3 location, and fill each remaining row and column below and to the right of Floating Spire with the bottom card of the summit deck until there are 4 rows and columns. Then shuffle the western wall, which is where we're trying to go, into the top 3 cards of the summit deck. So again, we just need to find that, which shouldn't be too bad, right? So let's go find the diagram. The diagram is pretty big. We're all the way here. Oh, that should be a 3 at the top corner. So as far as away we can get, and I think we're going to need the table space. Mind you, this is 4 shroud. So we have to go get our empty sky locations. So 1 goes right next to it. 1 goes right below it. Then there's 1 a wee bit down. And then there's 1 down here. So this is how much table space we need. So we have to really push this far. Yeah, like that. And then the last one is here. And then we just fill this in randomly. We're just going to go left, right, top to bottom, like Latin text reading, I guess. Give this a cut. And we're just going to fill from the bottom. So there's 5 depth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, it's really good. We're going to spread this out once we got it on the table, but it's really good we have that hook shot because now we have 3 free movement a turn. I mean, this scenario like is really cool in terms of the theme. Like I get what we're doing. The wind works. It's complicated, especially as a second scenario. And that is, I think, one of the downsides of going left or right or having that openness to the campaign. But that's, I think, one of the biggest maps you're going to see in this game, barring Innsmouth. Innsmouth has one really, really big map. Okay, so then shuffle the set aside western wall into the top 3. That's where probably our final destination is. This is the western wall, yeah. 1, 2, 3. I guess we're technically able to count this because we should know how many cards are here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I should just do it with my eyes closed to not tell the texture of this deck, which is still countable. So 10 to 3, we'll just shuffle this. We'll do a cut. We'll take the top 3 without looking at them. It's here. We'll shuffle that in. So again, this is 4 cards. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have to draw through 7 to get to these 4 out of the 11. Okay, cool. That's it. We're on our final act, which is good because we don't have that much more time. We have we're going to be at Storm 4 in a second. I don't want to be at Storm 5. Storm 5 is not going to be good. We advance to return to the shoreline. Or to the shorelines. I misspelled it. That's fine. Here we go. Imagining it's the same text, you can recognize the western wall in the distance where you have made landfall. So spend X clues to reveal X cards from the bottom of the summit deck. You may put 1 and move to it. If each surviving investigator has resigned, which I'm assuming is at the western wall as an action, we can advance. Okay, so let's just spread this out a wee bit. The problem is not the left to right. The problem is the up down, but we'll do the best we can. So what was our turn? Our turn was evade, fast travel, clue, get the thing, fast travel, right? Was get, I can't check what get the thing is. Oh no, I can because I know the name of the card. It was Obsidian Waterfall. Obsidian. which I spelled that right. Obsidian? No, excuse me. Obsidian Cliffs? No, what was it called? Suspended Aerial Waterfall? Aerial Waterfall, right? So we did evade, fast move, doesn't count. We got a clue with our lockpicks. We did this action, we did a fast travel. So if I'm not mistaken, we have one more action here. Yeah, I think we should have one more action. Now our lockpicks are exhausted. Our polished cane's not worth anything. We can't enter these locations until we have clues. So we're going to wait for next turn to get this with our 4 clues. So I think the only thing we're going to do here is draw. We could play our hammerless on top of a polished cane, but a polished cane is actually pretty good. So I'm just going to draw last action. That's bad. It's really bad in this scenario. We're just going to lose basically a whole turn to deal with this because you put this in play in your threat area, and after an enemy engages you, which is going to happen immediately right now, we have to put a Doom on this, and Doom, when it comes to 3 Doom, is like the worst. So we just lost 2 actions. We were going to draw that anyways, so not much we can do. Yeah, these 2 action weaknesses that you just have to get rid of are not that fun. All right, upkeep, 17 resources, card drawn, suppress to digitation. So if we need to ever like trick out our hammerless, we can do it, and we can bounce back. I honestly don't know. Arcane, I guess. Okay, Doom goes to 3. Which means we go to Angry Gales, I think it's called. Raging Gales. So here we go. So, excuse me. So if the current is at 6 or plus, we lose. Otherwise, we go 4 here. Then we discard cards from the top of the counter deck until the enemy is discarded. Spawn at the lead investor's location. That's it. It spawns. Yeah. Flip this agenda so it goes back. So we're going to clear the Doom. We're going to discard until we find an enemy. Lost in Clouds. Crumbling Masonry. We haven't drawn a lot of treacheries. We've been mostly drawing enemies, so this might take a minute. This might take a bit. Okay. All right. There's at least one bad horror in here. I can tell you that. And there's one more. Okay, there you go. There's also one more Star Vampire. All right, we have the bad horror. It's on us. It's got 4 health. It's got elusive. We just hit it once. Shouldn't be that bad. Notably, parasitic transformation kicks in, which hate that. So after an enemy engages you, place 1 Doom on parasitic transformation. So not on the enemy, on this. And we have to spend 2 actions to get 4 actions. So it's still worth doing. It's just like not interesting. We didn't do the wins. Forgot the wins. We got to do the wins. So the Western winds has to happen first. It won't have an impact on the board, but it'll have an impact. So we just have to do this. So shovel, we have to pull now 3 tokens because it wasn't meant to advance yet. I forgot the numbers. I need to remember the count. Hold on. So we shuffled into the top 4. So how many cards are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7's the number. Okay, 7's the number. So we have to pull. We actually want to pull face tokens. So we want to pull 3 tokens. No. No, bummer. We wanted to pull tokens there. I knocked a fish face out, so it wasn't a draw and I put it back in. But yeah, we actually wanted to pull tokens. Okay, then we've done the Doom phase. That's a 4. We've done everything we have to. So we just have to hit this. We have to get the clue. We have to get rid of this. That's kind of it. There's something about a huge grid scenarios that's really satisfying, but I think it'd be less so if they happened all the time. Yeah, I agree. Like big grids are fun. Like we all understand grids, I think. And that's cool, especially because it's like a chessboard, right? And movement really matters. Now, Obsidian Claws, I don't think we can use it to jump, right? Because it says during your turn, exhaust this card and choose location up to 2 connections away. Wait, I think we can jump over the open sky with this thing, right? That would thematically make sense. Because open sky is connected. Open sky counts as location for the purpose of card effects, location adjacency, and for determining distance between locations. We can jump over open skies, right? It just says investigators cannot move into open skies, but Obsidian Claws doesn't say move 1 at a time. It just says move to that location. So I think we can just hop. I think we can have hops. Right? I don't see why not. I'm pretty sure about that. Let me know if that's not the case, but our turn is going to be pretty busy work here. Yeah, it's meant to be extra good here. I think so. It's meant to be able to jump across the rooftops, which is like really good flavor. So we're going to do that. It's also fast, so we could do it first, but I think we want to put distance between us and the bad horror, technically. The first thing first, we'll use our polished cane, and we're going to just go ahead and do an attack, adding our stats together. So we're at 8 to 3. We don't care if we succeed or not. -3. 5-3, we actually get an action back. Sick. This thing is hit. It does 1 damage. We'll push it away. We actually should decide which way we want to go. So we're currently on western winds, which blows eastwardly, right? Right? And western winds is going to blow. Oh, not that. Don't read that. Don't read that. Western winds is going to blow. Shuffle rows 2 and 4. We're on row 1, right? You count from the top? Yeah. So it's going to blow this east. So it's going to get closer to us, which means it doesn't really matter. I think going here is good because we have a large chain of locations. But here's nice because we'll probably be 2 away from a lot of different things. Yeah, this is fine. I don't know. I can't think of too many clever reasons why to go push it up there, down here. I think pushing it there is fine. Pushing it down here though means we'll put more distance. If we put we put the same distance. The difference is here we are attached to 3 locations, but being on the edge, like being here and here is scary because this can blow out that way, and that we don't want. So this is a scary location in a turn, but that can't be that bad. Whatever, we'll just do that. We'll not worry about it. So that was 1 action. We got an action back. Second and third. Yay. We just have to get rid of this. 2 actions. Otherwise, we just lost 2 actions because we drew this. Third action. We might as well just use our lockpicks here to get the clue while we can. So we're going to just add our stats together. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 4. Minus skull is -4. Yeah. So 8 to 4. Oh, yeah. So maybe we should have moved. So we're going to break a lockpick, but we still get the clue. And then we're going to use Obsidian Claw. And then we're going to go here. And then we're going to still use Olivia Bishop. So we can use both of ours. So we'll use the Obsidian Claw, which just says move 2. I think I spelled Obsidian wrong in every... Oh, don't look at that text. Don't look at that text. We don't know what that is. We fast travel over here. And we can reveal this because we have the claw without doing the text. It's a hanging ship, which I think that one is fine for us. We just have to do a little test. This is when your test ends. Test X, where X is the number of investigators at this location. If you fail, discard hanging ship, which means we take 2 direct damage and get thrown back to the floating spire. This place has 4 clues, which is pretty good at 2 shroud. We technically need clues, but I think we're just going to keep moving. It's cool that the more people you put on it, the more the ship swings, and so the more easy it is to break. I think that's really fun flavor. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think we're just going to use Olivier and we're going to move into this summit and just reveal more things because there are still glyphs here. Speaking of a glyph, this is technically a glyph location, but not the glyph location that we care about. It's a glyph location that's going to give us a victory, which is obviously good. So after you reveal this location, test 1 agility. If you fail, search and counter deck and discard power for a monster and spawn it here. We usually don't fail that. And as an action, put the Sky Relic into play under your control, which we'll do that with an extra action next turn, I think. So we have to do 6 to 1. Fish face is -4. We're good. That's good. Enemy wakes up. Card and credit. All right, cigarette case. Might not be worth playing. Might not be worth playing. We can do the math here really easily, right? If we play this as an action, it's going to fire. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more turns. So you're basically spending an action to draw 4 cards. I mean, that's probably worth it, but what cards do we actually want to draw into at this point? Pushing someone off a roof is important. There's 1 more Star Vampire, though. That's the only big enemy left in the deck. So the push card's not that great. Well Connected would be good, but we're getting to the point where spending an action to play Well Connected is getting less and less important. So, like, I don't know if we play this. We'll see if we have a good action left. It might be strictly right to play it, but at this point, all we want to do is get glyphs and get out, which means we just need to get 1 clue a turn and get out. Again, 7 cards is what we're counting. And speaking of 7 cards, Western Winds is now very likely to blow because we're going to be pulling 4 tokens from the bag. 4? Doesn't blow. That sucks. We want it to blow. No good. Okay. Like, every time it blows, it adds 2 cards from the bottom of the deck into play, which gives us faster to our resolution. So that's not great. Doom goes to 1. We draw an encounter card. Elder Mist, that's totally fine. Stats are -1, which does hurt us when we add our stats together. But if we succeed by 2, we get rid of this. But the issue is, like, with lockpicks, this actually gives us -2 because it hits both our stats. Same in theory with everything else we got going. Hey, I thought you should know a game defines symbol token as a non-numerical token. Hey, Spanner. Yeah, I'm aware about that. That one I had to take a while to figure out, but it's confusing because I think the way that I read this and maybe humans read this, I don't know, maybe that's a bit of a broad thing, is that, yeah, a symbol is anything without a number. So like that is wider than just the symbols in the bag because it counts blesses, it counts frost, it counts curses, like it counts a lot of different things. And so that's nice. But the way that I read this is I think it means non-elder sign symbol, but it technically means non-elder sign symbol, right? Because that's how you read this. You would read this intuitively as non-elder sign symbol, which makes you think anything besides the elder sign, which then becomes nonsense text because once you reveal 2 tokens, why does it have this text at all? But yeah, it's a non-elder sign symbol, which is why I'm saying it like that. But yeah, if you just read non-elder sign symbol, it gets confusing, right? It genuinely is confusing. But I get it. It took me a while to get that, but I get it. Okay, so things that we could do. The winds are blowing westernly, which means they're blowing east. So this is not a safe location. So we don't want to grappling hook that. This is also not a safe location because this thing is going to enter. So I think we're just going to try and get the Elder Mist cracked and get the clue with the lockpicks. And then like if we want to get more clues than this, I think it's likely that we'll actually all via bishop into the hanging ship. Just because that's not a bad place to be, it has low shroud, and we could even just do like basic 3-2s on it and hope for the best. The question is whether we play Lucky Cigarette Case. I'm just going to look at the bottom of our deck to see what we care to draw. We have a sudden fall, we have a breaking and entering, but like none of these cards really matter that much. It's just well connected that matters. Like none of these cards actually really matter. Like card draw is good because they're icons, but it's not really important. We have one weakness in this, which is fine, but I honestly don't know if the Cigarette Case is worth the single action. Like the threshold is so narrow when you play solo. You can't take actions that are not important. Now we could in theory Obsidian Claw into the summit and then just like alleviate back, which so we can just reveal more locations. That's fine too. We could also get the relic asset from this thing, which we probably should. I mean, it's probably an action or 2 actions for a victory point, which we can take that. But we really need the wind to blow because we need to blow through at worst 11 cards, I think. And every time the wind blows, that's 2 cards for us for free. Okay, do we lockpicks here at the next location? I mean, it doesn't hurt to go check out the next location. So we're going to use Olivier, and we're just going to fast travel into the summit. Cool, Magnetic Spires, not too high shroud, but a lot of clues. These are better with our Thieves Kit. So you can't use firearms here, that's fine. As an action, each investigator's location can spend a clue to choose open sky up to 2 spaces away and swap Magnetic Spires with that location. It's fine text if we need to get somewhere in a rush. Okay. If we do our book test here, like this is the problem is this is 2 shroud and our book is currently 3. The issue is the bag is as much as we haven't pulled it has 3 copies of -4. If you pull the -4 on the cultist, it adds a doom and we basically lose 4 actions. So we just literally cannot do an action that is not +4. We just can't. If we are multiplayer, you could, because then the other person just hunts down the enemy and you just like sequence this better, but we can't. So we shouldn't. So if that's the case, we're going to have to just do the best test we have possible access to, which means we're going to lockpick this location, I guess. So this is our first genuine action. We're going to go back there, I'm pretty sure, which maybe that was a bit inefficient. So we're at 9-2. Actually, no, we don't lockpicks this. I think we play our second lockpicks. I think we double hand lockpicks. Because if we do Andy Van Norwick, we're only at 6-2. No, we're at 5-2. We need to be at 6-2. And there's no other easy book besides our other lockpicks. So yeah. I think we prestidigitation down the other lockpicks. Oh, but then we have to bounce something. I think we bounce the other lockpicks. Man, I'm so bad at playing prestidigitation. It's always like one step more awkward than you think it's going to be. Because I want to play the other lockpicks and bounce the polished cane. The problem is our hand slots are full. So that's like the upside of playing the lucky cigarette case is you bounce the lucky cigarette case. But if we play, so that means in theory, if we spend an action here to play the lucky cigarette case, it's like an action to draw. We do a test, lucky cigarette case fires, likely. Then we play prestidigitation. We replace our polished cane with the other lockpicks and we bounce the cigarette case. I think that's fine. Otherwise, we're bouncing a lockpicks and then we don't want that. So I think first action we'll actually play the cigarettes and fire it once and then bounce it. So it's slightly better than doing nothing, but we'll play this for 2. Okay. Second action is lockpicks. So 9-2. -2. So we succeed by 2. We don't break a lockpicks. We get a clue. We draw with our cigarette case. I need to get the clue. I always forget the clue. That's an important part of that. We got another polish cane. Perfect. Okay, then we'll play Prestidigitation fast. So we'll play it for 1. We'll play an item asset from your hand, reducing its cost by 2. So we'll play 1 more to play another lockpicks, trashing our polish cane. We have to remember Prestidigitation fires, so we're going to keep it on the table. We'll pay 1 more for that. I think we did. And this comes in with 3 picks. I'm pretty sure we paid 1 for that. Okay. So we've done fast move, lucky cigarette case, lockpicks. So we have 2 more actions and 1 more fast move. So if that's the case, I think we're just going to use the fast move to go back here. We're going to now use lockpicks on this location, which is only 3 shroud, but we're currently at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 7 to 3. So we might break 1 lockpick on the second lockpick. It would indeed say Elder Sign token or just Elder Sign even. If it meant anything other than Elder Sign, it would say non-Elder Sign token. Yeah, no, I hear you. But it's like, it is unintuitive. Like people read that as non-Elder Sign token. But I totally get it. Does the game ever use a simple token? No, I don't think it do. I think like you'd have to look at the text on like I don't know, like ritual candles and stuff like that. -4. Okay, so that's not amazing. We get the clue, which is good because we're 6, 7, 8, 9. -2 is 7 to 4. We break a lockpick. We don't clear Elder Mist. We get the clue, and then we did 2 fast travels. Cigarettes, clue. So for the last action, I think we're just going to do the text on Ancient Canyons. So we're going to spend an action to put a set-aside relic into play. It's ours now. It's the Sky Relic. Ooh. Sky Relics eroded by winds. So Sky Relics would leave play removed from the game. Test 8 agility. Double the skill icons for each card you committed this way. If you succeed, flip this test over and resolve its text. It like is definitely going to translate that triangle thing at the top, which we technically don't need for any of our relics, but it's usually worth a victory. So we're going to do that if we have a spare action. We did not succeed by 2, so we don't clear Elder Mist, and Elder Mist is going to punish us during the upkeep phase, or the Mythos phase, excuse me. But that's that. Enemy phase, this thing has to come closer. Hello. And then we do card and credit. We really want the wind to blow. Oh my god, we do. Okay, another Prestidigitation. Speaking of, we have to bounce something to our hand. We should have had to do that first, I think. This says when your turn ends. Yeah, we had to do that first. We were planning to bounce that. We're at 8 cards, 7 cards, so we're fine on hand size. That's it. Wind, Western winds. Let's go. Revealing 4, we really need the wind to blow because we have to blow through 7 cards. We don't have that much time. First, nailed it. I'm not going to pull 3 more. It doesn't matter because it's not per token. So shuffled the rightmost open sky and summon rows 2 and 4. So these get shuffled and we go on a bit of a travel. These come in. Hard to keep this organized, but not bad. We're doing okay. The microphone really gets in the way. I'm thinking of like just getting a headset with a mic on it, but I don't know. It sounds always so much worse. So now we need to go through the next 5 and then it's in the next 4. So again, 5 into 4. Okay, that's that. This flips over to East. We add a Doom. We're in the Witching Hour. We draw our up counter card. It is another Elder Mist, which attached to the nearest location without Elder Mist. So you technically can, I think, throw it on there. Maybe you can't. If that's the case, I'll just put it behind us. Okay, cool. Hey, just tuned in. What's the new counter? The Doom? Yeah, Chris. Yeah, we added a Doom counter, and that's because this thing got too big. So I didn't really have space to feel good to put the Act on Agenda. So the Act on Agenda, we can just pull in and out, and that's the Doom counter. I probably should say 2 out of 3 or whatever the limit is. Maybe I'll add another number to it. But for now, yeah, that's the Doom counter. I love the idea of the scenario. Yeah, the theme of the scenario is so cool, but it's so fiddly. It's so complicated. And again, this can be your second scenario in the campaign. I don't think you should allow that. This is way more interesting thematically and mechanically than the finale of this campaign. Like this would be a sick finale, and it has that sort of rules overhead and that sort of like mechanical, what's it called? Like it pulls you in. It's really good. You feel like you're doing the thing it's telling you to do. This is such a good scenario, but it is a bit much. It's a bit fiddly. But we've seen less complicated finales than this. So yeah, it's cool. It's just a weird spot. Okay, we need to go. Now again, we just added 2 cards. We're probably going to add 2 more cards, which means there's 5 more on the bottom. If we spend 3 clues, that's perfect because we can spend 3 clues to move down here. We're now moving rows 1 and 3 westward, so that'll push us slightly back, but this will hunt first, which is fine. So moving here is totally safe. So I think we're going to spend 3 clues. We want to place with 2 clues at least, so we can use 2 lockpicks. So I think for our first action, we're just going to do the text on the act, which means we're going to spend 2 clues. 3 clues. And we're going to look at the bottom 3, which means the next time the wind blows, the card we're looking will be in the next 5 guaranteed, which might be hard to get to because it's going to be on an edge. So we really need to get a lot of clues fast. So we're going to look at 3. Hopefully they're not just open sky. They're not. So this one's open sky. We'll just put that aside for now, and we can look at these 2. So we're still looking for 1 glyph. Unfortunately, it's neither of those. We can do hanging ship, which this one has pretty good text for us. If we biff it, it sends us pretty far back, but it's a 1 agility test, so it's only the bad thing. And yeah, we actually can sail on it, which I don't think we're going to need to do that. The other option is the suspended reef, which at 3 shroud with our lockpick shouldn't matter. After you end your turn, you either may take a damage, which is fine with barrier node, and during your turn, spend a clue to choose an enemy at a summit location up to 3 locations and swap places with that. That's probably not relevant. I think all the enemies spawn on us, at least in solo, so that's not relevant text either. I'm going to go for the hanging ship just because it has more clues on it. Right? I think it's that simple. So we've just burned through 3. So now there's 2 dead cards into 4 cards, if I'm not mistaken. So the hanging ship, these go on the top here. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. That goes on top. This goes on top. We now move to the hanging ship. Okay, 4 clues. That's good. The open the open sky rules don't say that encounter cards can't be there, and do say they count as location for the purposes of card effects. So I think you can put the treacheries there. Cool. That's good to know. I think that makes sense because I think the St. Elmo's fire can follow you through the sky, which that's good. It will follow you. But yeah, for our sake, it shouldn't really matter. Technically, it's better to put it up there. Okay, we're the hanging ship. We've spent no actions. No, we spent 1 action because that wasn't a fast move. We have nowhere smart the sky hook, which sucks, but I think we're just going to get the clues, and maybe last action we'll use the sky relic. So we'll use 1 lockpicks, which adds our stats together. So we're now doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 to 2. -1, 8 to 2. So we get an action, we get a clue. We'll do the other lockpicks, 9 to 2. Fish face is -4, so we're at 5 to 2. So we're still good. We don't break a lockpick. We have 2 more clues. Okay, we can investigate here. The problem is if it adds a doom, it doesn't really matter. We're allowed to add a doom here if we pull the fish face, or sorry, the cultist. So if we want to investigate, we can make it 5 to 2, which is pretty good. I think we do. I think we just need to get as many clues as we can. In theory, we want up to 5 clues. I don't think there's a limit how many you can spend on the act. I think it just says spend up to X, but in theory, 5 clues is what we want. We could do the 75% chance thing again. Oh no, we only need 4 clues because there's only 4 cards. Yeah, so we just need 4 clues. So we're just going to get all these clues here. So I'm going to throw out Andy Van Norfolk, and then we're just going to investigate using our base stats here, which is 3 book, right? So we're going to investigate to the hanging ship, which is 5 to 2. -2, get a clue. All right, the last clue we'll get next turn, I think. The one thing we could consider doing here with an off action is either playing the Lucky Cigarette case or doing the Sky Relic. Sky Relic is 8 evade. We're 6 to 8, which is already not bad. We only have to bring our evade up to 12 to be like near guaranteed, which means we have to boost half of that distance. So we have to boost 3. Every card that we boost this doubles the boost. So yeah, we only have to boost 3. So I could see us doing Polished Cane, 1903 Hammerless. It's nice to keep these with Prestidigitation, just in case an enemy shows up, let alone a victory enemy, we could start blowing it up. It's really hard to get victory in this scenario. You basically need to hunt a victory location at the end of the scenario or at the side and have it get blown out, because every victory location we've ever cleared has just blown itself back into the deck, which is a bit frustrating. We also could use Easy Street here and like kind of force this test, but I want to use Easy Street on something that's going to be more impactful. I'm assuming there's going to be something more impactful. 6 to 8 is no point doing it. We need to boost here. So we've seen both of our manual dexterities. That's the best card we could have got for this situation. Yeah. So if we play cigarettes, we draw a card. It's not a bad action here. Otherwise, we could just draw a card though, because we should have played cigarettes first. Let's be honest. Again, 6. This is 7, 8. This is 9, 10. This is 11, 12. And we have no more weapons. but we translate this. You think it's worth it? I really don't like that Axe don't tell you to add victory locations to the victory display instead of shuffling them into the summon deck. It feels like an oversight. I mean, they went on the way to say the text on when you should add it, but I don't know if that's an errata or that is an oversight. But they do specifically say on the back of Eastern Winds if it has victory to like put it away. I don't know. I can see it. Yeah, exactly. When the winds tell you to do that, but the Axe doesn't, it's a bit strange. It has a huge impact on the difficulty of the scenario too, because like we have to keep drawing through those cards over and over and over again. Krovax, is this campaign good for the first one? I don't think so. I am more harsh on this campaign than most people. I think this campaign doesn't do... Arkham Horror does a lot of things really, really great. This is not a terrible campaign. It's not even maybe a bad campaign, but there's a lot of things that good campaigns do that this one doesn't do. If this campaign is available, it's still good. But it's not my favorite recommendation for a campaign. The problem is like every campaign is out of print. So usually whatever campaign you can get access to is your best first campaign. I would say specifically, don't get Scar of the Keys as your first campaign because it is very different than everything else. It's like a choose your own adventure and it's really not good at making it easy. Like it doesn't do enough to hold your hand to ensure that you'll get an interesting, well-paced story. And even on top of that, I don't like the structure, but I would say that this is not my first recommendation. My first recommendation is if you can get Dunwich, do it. Dunwich is great. It's not perfect, but it was their first campaign. So it's like a great first campaign for everyone. It has holes in it, but it's good. It has really good narrative beats. Carcosa is golden. Forgotten Agent is golden, but very difficult and punishing. So not always. Innsmouth is a bit complicated, but is a sick, really good story. Hemlock Vale is, I think, modernly the best one for people to recommend. It has a really nice story, a really great theme. I just finished reading Annihilation, one of the books it's kind of based on today. Man, I want to dive back into Hemlock, but I would recommend those sooner. The one in the Arctic, Edge of the Earth, also has a bit strange pacing. I like it a lot, but it is like it's interesting because it's so different than everything else. So I think that's something that's appreciated if you've seen everything else. But yeah, let me know what you can get access to. If you can get this and it's the only thing you can get it. Because we're not going to see a scenario or campaign of this length ever again, seemingly. So like that's already worth it on its own. You get a lot of stuff for your stuff. But yeah, it's not my... we'll probably talk about this once the campaign is wrapped with its own video, but there's a lot of things that this campaign does not do that other campaigns do. And they're some of my favorite things about Arkham in general. Okay, so the only way to do Sky Relic guaranteed is to dump all these cards. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We might not even succeed by 1 for the watch this, but the money at this point doesn't matter, so I don't care. We could draw into a well-connected. Well-connected would help into Sky Relic, but I could see us just having a down action here. The other thing we could do is just boost into the Hanging Ship. Not a huge incentive to do that. We really need the winds to blow here because we only have 3 more turns. Like, that's the problem. We only have 3 more turns. So I think if we have only 3 more turns, I'm going to throw these at the test. So we're going to do the Sky Relic. So it's 8 agility, but it doubles everything we commit to this. Our base stat is 6. 1903 Hammerless is 7, 8. Watch this is 9, 10. Polish Cane is 11, 12. So we're good besides the bad thing. For watch this, we're just going to do it. We're going to spend 3 resources. So there's going to be 6 resources on this if we succeed by 1, which is not very good, but I just don't see us needing 12 resources before the scenario is over. We could just do an easy street, but I think we're going to use it for something else. So we're 12 to 8. -1. So we translate it and we get 6 resources, which is sick. Okay, so we have to flip this card over. It's for my 2 friends that want to play Dunwich, Carcosa, Edge of the Earth, and Innsmouth is over in my country. Oh, well, if you can get those, do those. Those are all, I think, better starting points. Specifically Dunwich, Carcosa. If those are the best number 1 and number 2. Dunwich is like very good starting. It teaches you everything. It's not perfect, but it's great. And then Carcosa is like, wait a second, what about if everything we taught you, we can kind of subvert it? And it's a very fun exploration of those things. All right, Sky Relic. This is called Story. Twisting a hidden knob in the relic's base releases a shower of sparks. You nearly drop the relic from surprise, but the sparks are merely random pinpricks of light and thick clouds of fog that shift like oil on water. The more you look at them, the more they resemble constellations, patterns of distant stars. The projection looks nothing like the constellations you've seen before, however. You discover the following glyph. In your campaign log, record stars. Add this to the victory display. Cool. So we'll translate. Stars? Ooh, that was not good. What did that do? Translate. Oops. Translate stars. All right, we got it. Okay, so we've translated a lot of these. I think we're at like 17 or 18, would have to count. But I don't think it matters. It's like, I forget the thresholds, but the thresholds are really wide. It's like, did you get 3? Did you get 26? We're clearly not getting 26. We'll add that to the victory display. All right, that's our whole turn. Oh, those are sold out. Oh, bummer. Sorry. Yeah, that sucks. It is hard to get stuff. If you do want to check out aftermarkets, like people do move and sell board games. I wouldn't recommend paying much over what the MSRP is, but there's a lot of nice people who are just like, you know, looking for another campaign or not longer playing Arkham, and you can pick stuff up there if you tune into like whatever platforms make sense for whatever region you live in. All right, we're going to move this thing behind us because it's equidistant and there's no way we're going to be moving back, but there's some way that we're going to be moving to the left. So actually, I guess the wind blowing might change this decision, but I think this is still correct. Sorry, this is a mess, but it's like one thing touches 7 other things. All right, that's it. Upkeep. Weight of the world. Okay, that's our basic weakness. I think our deck is now void of weaknesses, which is nice. So this is whenever we fail skill test, take a horror, shuffle this back in our deck. Worst part about this is that we lose a card draw repeatedly, as much as horror is not good either. All right, we have to blow the wind. So blow. So we reveal 4 tokens. We definitely want this to hit. And if we hit, the card that we're looking for is the next 4, so we can guarantee it and get out. Hemlock is really cool. Sometimes a touch fiddly, but some really cool ideas. Really cool ideas. Really cool theme. Really cool story. You care about the characters. Again, I just finished reading Annihilation today. I want to jump back in so much. Man, nature is such a cool thing to be a central character in any story. Okay, we got multiple tokens. We're meant to reveal one more, but we don't have to. So shuffle the leftmost open sky or summit. So leftmost open sky is this one. And then everything blows over. So we slide over. Again, I'll clean this in a second. And this slides out and these slide over. Okay, so these locations we're adding cannot be it if my math is correct. If my math is off, we'll have to remember, and we're going to do top first. So if my math is off, there's a chance that this is where we need to be. But I think the thing that we need to be is in the next 4. So yeah. Cool. Now Doom hits 3, which is enough. So we go to Raging Gale. Yeah, because 3. And so now we only have 3 more turns to get through this. Raging Gale. I think it's called that. Yeah, Raging Gales. All right, so you know this text. This goes up to 5. So now Skull's -5. So succeeding by 2 is a fair bit harder. If the storm is 6+, die. Otherwise, add a resource, discard cards from the top until there's an enemy. There's one more Star Vampire, and that might be it. There's a Star Vampire. It's on us. There's only like 6, 7 cards left. Are the winds True East or Montreal East? These are True East. Montreal East, it would be really hard. It would like be slightly diagonal. But it's worth checking. I was going to put like a wind vane on the screen and have it blow around, but like that's a bit much. We have a Star Vampire. This thing is victory. It's technically you can hit it with the cane over and over again, as much as we discarded our cane because it's not elite. But it's Hunter, Relentless, most remaining health after the enemy attacks, heal 1 damage. It's just a big waste of time. 5 attacks into this is what it takes. That's not our encounter card. This is, sorry, Doom set 0. We get Eye of the Deep. Okay, this one is actually good for us. Genuinely really good. And that's because we discarded the Inescapable. This now treats every fish face as a cultist. Sorry, every cultist as a fish face, which turns out is good for us because the fish face is -2. If there's an enemy location, reveal another token, but cultist is -4. And failing and putting a Doom is way worse. That means even if there's an enemy on us, we can start taking whatever random tests because there's no punishment for failing. Like literally there's no punishment to failing on any of these now that we can't add a Doom. So this is genuinely quite good. We do have the Star Vampire on us. Like, let's not forget that, but we can evade this as 1 evade at the end of the day, right? It even just hits for 1, like it tickles us. It doesn't matter. Hemlock is kind of complex for new players. So every campaign is made that if you just have a core set and that, you should be able to play it. I think Hemlock is complex in structure, but a lot of the scenarios are nowhere near as complex as what you're looking at right now. If what you're looking at right now seems somewhat parsable, you'll be fine. This is here. But Hemlock is definitely, I would say, a 6 on the complexity scale, which is like doable if you think that's doable. There's still punishment for failing. It's just on a story acid rather than a scenario reference. Oh, Weight of the World. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It doesn't matter. Like, we'll just tank this. But yeah, you're right. Technically, there is a punishment. But of course, there's a punishment. They're always watching. Okay. All we need to do is get a clue, spend an action, and then we can win. It's that simple. The issue is what's going to happen if we see a location with a glyph on it. And in theory, we actually do want to find a location with a glyph on it. Because in terms of the Obsidian Claw, as soon as we find the final location, which is in the next 4 cards, we have to leave. The problem is if we don't do it under our control, it'll blow onto the table. And when it blows onto the table, it's going to be far away from us, right? And that is harder for us to deal with, where it's a 50-50, 2 locations apart. As much as 2 locations apart is 1 Obsidian Claw apart, so that's not that bad. But this says if each investing in, oh, it's resigned. Okay, so we can enter that location with advancing. Usually they say when you enter advance, but when you enter that location, there's probably an action to resign. So we are allowed to safely enter it without ending the game. So that's totally fine. So we can set up the bottom of the deck. First thing first, we're just going to evade this thing 6-1. Oh, the task? Yeah, we failed the task a long time ago. We just failed that. We'll be okay, I hope. We've only done 4, but I'm pretty sure we get some task progress because we did the selfless thing. I think we did the selfless thing. I'm not sure. 6-1, -4. So 5-1, we don't succeed by 2. Still fine. First. Second, we'll do right lockpicks, better lockpicks. Yeah. So we're at 9-2. Oh, we're meant to do this test. Excuse me. This is called the hanging ship. We had to do this test when our turn ended. If we fail this, everything's going to be messed up. So I'm really hoping we don't fail this. It's 6-1. Okay, no auto fail. But yeah, failing that would have been a problem. So now we're going to do 9-2. Pretend I said a weakness treachery. Yep, yeah. No, you said what you said was right. Oh yeah, you said story. Never mind. So we succeed by 2. We get the last clue. No victory, but we get a clue and we get an action back. So we have 2 more actions. We're going to spend our 3rd action doing the text on the act. So we're going to spend all 4 clues, which should force the ending if we want to. So we're going to look at the bottom 4 cards of the deck. And if I counted the cards correctly, we know the thing that we want to get to is here in the bottom. So we have 4 cards. We'll just go ahead and put these aside and then we can look at them. So as we expected, we have the Western Wall, which is where we want to go. This is Western Wall Obsidian Canyons, I think. So this is 2 shrouds, 0 clues. After you reveal this location, draw the eroded freeze treachery. That's the last one we need. Wait, I think that's the last one we need. I was worried of leaving without this, but that is actually the perfect last one we need. Because if I'm not mistaken, Obsidian Claws, if we look at it, and I've spelled obsidian wrong so consistently, it's good to know that. Did I? Maybe I didn't. But Obsidian Claws, if we want to flip it, you need, again, the one that we have, the aerial. We need weather. Okay, so we have depths weather, earth, the one on the freeze. Oh no, we're still missing one. We're missing the plant one. And then we have elder things. So if we want to be able to flip this, and it's really good to flip it, there's one more glyph somewhere in the deck. The problem is it's not necessarily somewhere in the deck. It could be somewhere on the table, which means we have basically like 2 turns because it's an action to resign here. We have 2 turns to like check out a couple of these locations with our fast actions. And if we find it, we find it. It has a lot of shroud. We just have to get 1 clue and then we can get it. So we're still going to try for it. But yeah, this doesn't have exactly what we want. Regardless, we're going to go put this location into play. And I think we have to put it behind us, the Western Wall. And we're going to move to it. So we'll do that in a second. These have to go into the deck first. Well, I guess we'll put the open on top and then this on top. Okay, welcome to the Western Wall. So when the Western Wall is revealed, it says, if you reveal the treachery, draw the set aside, eroded freeze treachery. And we need to translate this, right? Yeah, we do. All right, eroded freeze, which I think I'm saying right now. Which one is this one? This one. So, oh, don't read that. Sorry. Attach eroded freeze to your location. So it's on the Western Walls. Cannot be canceled. If it would leave play, thing happens. As an action, test 3 book or 3 combat. If you fail, take a damage. Otherwise, put 1 resource on this card. And if there are 1 resources on this card, flip it over and resolve its text. Okay, so we can deal with that. So we did evade, lockpick, action. So we have 1 more action here. So we can always fast travel in, fast travel out if we want to just see for glyph's sake. But here we're just going to do this test. Now our book stat is not very good. It's a 3, but we can kind of force this, right? So we're going to force this by throwing our last copy of Easy Street and hoping this is the last time that we're going to need it. So this adds 4 wilds. So we're at 7-3, which is a pretty good place to be at. Yeah. can't believe we haven't used the barrier node once. Fish face is -4, so we succeed. There's no enemies at our location. So we put a resource on it, and we get to flip it. So eroded freeze is now the treachery side. Sorry, the story side. Okay. So eroded freeze. Parts of the freeze are worn smooth by the passage of time, but you eventually identify the shapes of mountains, clouds, mist. Within the mist, nightmarish shapes appear to be locked in some kind of struggle. Frightened creatures look up from below. Underneath it all, a cyclopean eyes gazes intensely at underground city deep below the surface. Heavy accenting depicts a roiling mist that fills the streets of the city. Each of the citizens reclines in a look of terrifying repose. You discover this glyph. It's darkness. Add this to the victory display. Okay, so translate darkness. So the only one we're looking for is the second one, and this is now 2 victory in the victory display. All right, not bad. There are so many cards on the table. This looks so convoluted mess. I mean, yeah, we're getting a pretty good handle of this, but I see where you're coming from. Speaking of that, let's do some fast actions for no reason. We're going to try and look. We basically need to find that last one of these locations allows us to translate it. Now, I don't know how many summit locations are in the game. We can't look at how many are left in the deck. Technically, we should know, but we can't know the order they're coming in. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be anywhere. And if we don't get, we just can't translate this claw. Like, I don't know how you meant to translate every single thing besides getting very lucky and or having more players. But honestly, if we resign now, or more accurately next turn, we'd be pretty happy. So we're going to all via bishop down here. Not the one we want. It's a dazzling skyline. We have to take horror. So when you reveal this location, take a horror. We're getting a bit horrored up. 1 shroud, 1 clue. And as an action, you can spend 1 to 3 clues to look at cards from the bottom of the deck. So that's interesting. I think we're just going to use our Obsidian Claws while we can. If we go into this bottom left corner, do we have a chance of getting blown out? So this says rows 2 and 4 blow east. So we won't get blown out if we go down here. 2 and 4 shuffle right. No, so we can go to the corner while we can. So we're going to use our Obsidian Claw, speed side, and we're going to speed into the summit. We don't do the test. Suspended Reef. Okay, so at least our thing's going to do something here. So this is not where we want to be. 3 shroud, 2 clues. After you end your turn of this, you may discard a card at random from your hand. We'll just take a damage on our barrier node. During your turn, fast, spend a clue. Choose an enemy at a summon location up to 3 connection locations. We can swap with them. So we can swap with the Bat Horror if we really need to get somewhere fast. That's it. I was playing Champion solo and wasn't paying attention, looked up a reel, had no idea what was happening. This is the biggest board I think you can play in this campaign. So it is a bit much. Like, I'm not going to pretend it's not, but it's just a grid of spaces. All of these are empty spaces. They just kind of hold a spot. Okay, this thing has to hunt. It's honestly these damn treacheries that are making this messy. So this will hunt, I guess, here. This wakes up. All we have to do is go there and resign, which we could do in a single action next turn if we needed to. This is that. Card and credit. We draw right under their noses, which is fine. It's not a card that we upgraded. Mind you, we floated, I think, like 5 or 6 XP. I'd have to check the tape. Does anyone remember? But we floated a lot of XP. I think it was 5. So we're hoping to get at least like 5 more XP this round, which we're not really on track because then we can buy the red clock for 10 XP, which would be a nice little treat for us. Okay, wind blows, which could give us a little fast move here, which we wouldn't mind. So we're going to reveal 5 tokens. Be surprised if we did not blow. So 5 tokens, the bottom one's that. So we're going to blow. Western winds. We only have a couple turns here. So we're going to take the rightmost open sky summon locations 2 and 4. So this could be the location that we needed to go to, and good luck us. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. It's on top. These all slide in. We go for a little ride. We're closer to where we need to be. We are really hoping that the location that spawns in here is the location we can explore. So we'll do top first. You said 5? I said 5 what? Wait, what? What 5? I recall it being 5 too. Of the tokens? Sorry, I'm not sure. There's a chat delay too. Oh, it is. That's good. You call us saying 5? Let me know what that is about. I'm not sure what that's about. And that's it. We had 1 do. I'm just going to get a glass of water while chat catches up. It's right here. I didn't have to go far. Oh my God, experience. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that should have been obvious. I was pulling tokens from the bag, 5 tokens, and so I thought that 5 was 5. Yeah, I think it's 5 XP because we gained 4 and we floated 1. Okay, 1 encounter card. Acrophobia. This will be 1 willpower, which is nice. This is not something we want to fail because we end up taking 2 horror. But it's test 1 willpower. This test gets +1 difficulty for each open sky adjacent to your location. We are totally locked in, let alone we're on a wall. So this is going to be 1 willpower. We're 2-1, which we could biff it. So we could just make it 3-1. In terms of the -2s in the bag, there's a couple. Skull is -5. Fish face is -2. So the bag actually has so many -2s that I do think we want to boost 1 because we have 2 natural -2s and then all the tablets and all the cultists. Sorry, all the cultists and fish faces are -2s. So I'm just going to throw the cigarettes at the problem and make us 3-1 and hope that we pass. Because failing here is not good. It's 2 horror, which is probably okay, but not great. We fail. Okay, so we have to take horror or lose an action. Luckily, it's only by 1, so we can choose one of those. And no matter what, we're going to do Weight of the World, which I think you do first. So we have to take a horror and shuffle this in. So we're going to keep our friend alive here. We'll just take it to the face. So losing an action, we have to decide why that matters. We can fast travel to the summit. The winds should be blowing east. I didn't flip this, which means this is actually a dangerous spot to be in. That's fine. We can always reveal a location there and go there. So I think we just take 1 more horror here. I don't know if there's an encounter card that does 2 horror to us. There could be. But if we draw this card, which there might be 1 more, like, I guess we just lose our whole turn and die. Because then we doom out. So I'll just give this a cut. Our turn starts. We're just going to take 1 more horror. I think, again, a horror for an action is not worth it. So we're at 2 horror, which is a bit frightening. Our barrier node heals. Okay, first action. We're just going to use Olivia Bishop. Do we want to get clues here? There should be clues in the next location, but these are really easy clues. I think really easy clues are fine. We get a clue. Fast travel, fast travel, fast travel. We could leave. Yeah, so I'm going to get 1 clue here. What? Dazzling Skyline has good text. The problem is it's next to an enemy. So we can make a decision. We could just leave here if we wanted to. We could just, hit the bricks. We could just move and go to Western Wall and resign. We always could do that. However, there's a small chance this is where we want it to be, let alone we could spend a clue and hope the next card is where we want to be. If that fails, we will have 2 more actions left. We can still leave. Right? Because we fast travel here. We get a clue, we fast travel here. We probably, when we get a clue, have 3 actions left. We spend 1 action to reveal this. If it's bad, we fast travel here, we move, resign. So I think we're allowed to do this. So 3 Shroud seems like pretty good. We have another lockpicks if we need it somewhere else. We'll lockpicks this location 9-3. Skull's a bit annoying here, but -1 is good. We get a clue, we get an action. Good. So then we'll use Olivier and we'll enter the summit. We don't have to do the text because we control the claw, and it is not what we need. It's the magnetic spires, which could have interesting text here. So 2 Shroud, 3 clues. So each investigator at this location as an action. You can spend a clue to choose a sky space up to 2 away and swap magnetic spires with that location. So we could swap straight up here, right up here to put us away from the enemies. That's technically scary because this space is not safe. This space is not safe because there's a big chance that these will blow out west. This is going to blow out 2 and 4. No, it's going to blow out 1 and 3. We're actually safe where we are. Excuse me. So the western wall is going to blow out here. Oh no, it cannot be moved. It's stuck there. That makes sense. But yeah, 1 and 3 are going to be moving west. So this space is not safe. Now, next turn, assuming we don't take 2 horror, and mind you, we can always put 1 horror on Olivier Bishop, we can do fast, fast, go. So it's probably better here. Again, we still have 3 actions that we lockpicks this and then spend 2 clues. Yeah. Yeah. I think we just get as many clues and we're going to leave next turn. So we're going to use our next lockpicks here. We're at 9-2. We can investigate 3-2. Not great. That's bad. Break a lockpick. That's bad. Okay. That's not good. So we spent 2 actions and we have 2 more actions. We could spend 1 clue to look at 1 card from the deck. That's less efficient in terms of actions. We could also just investigate 3 to 2. We have no good boost. We can make it 4 to 2, which actually does play around a lot of tokens. But right under their noses is just like a good card to play. We didn't upgrade to this, and it might be relevant to upgrade this, but it says discover 1 clue at your location or 1 clue at a neighboring location. And clues are good. In terms of enemies in the deck, there's not many. There's only 4 cards left. I don't know if there's any enemies left. There might be 1 more of the things you can ride. I think there might be 3 of them in the deck. The Imperial whatever. I think here we just investigate 3 to 2 and hope. There's 3 -1s, 2 zeros, a +1, and an Elder Sign. As soon as we boost right under their noses, it opens up an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tokens. Yeah, I think it's worth it. So we'll just investigate 4 to 2. 0. Got it. Okay. Problem is we can't last action reveal this because it is very likely to blow out. So I think we did lockpicks, investigate. We have 1 more because we did a fast move. So I think we just investigate 3 to 2. This is the -2. It doesn't add a doom, which would have been disastrous because Eye of the Deep actually really helps us here. It says treat each of those icons as it were a fish face. Fish face is just -2, so we just fail. So that's fine. Okay, that's fine. This moves closer. We'll put it down here just so it doesn't get in our way. As much as resigning doesn't take an attack of opportunity, this moves down. I think it's on 4. It might be on 3. I'll just put it on 4. It doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure it was on 3 though. We must have hit it once. No, yeah, maybe. We'll put it on 4. We'll put it on 3. I think it's 3. It doesn't matter. Card and credit. All right, this is the last turn. Upkeep. We drew a well-connected just in time as we have 21 resources. And let's blow the wind. 5 counters move over. And again, this Western Wall... No, this is so bad because then this thing moves into that space and we can't investigate. I mean, it's still possible, but it's really ugly. We don't want the wind to blow here. Yeah, the reveal location slides in anyways, but it slides in on this side. Because it's eastern wind, so it's blowing west. Not good. Our plan was a bit scuffed. 1, 2. Okay, we already have this. So again, shuffle the leftmost open sky or summit. So these are gone. This can't go, so this goes. Oh, technically, no. This goes. Oh, leftmost sky or summit. So it would be this. So I've been doing it slightly wrong in terms of the shuffling order. But not in a meaningful way, I don't think. These come in. So imagine the location we want is the location we would have added last turn. Oh, sorry, this doesn't slide. So this actually gets a bit obnoxious. This stays here, this slides over. This comes in. This slides in. So it could have been this location. No, could have been this location. Could be it. Could be it. Sorry, I saw the bottom 2 are open locations. That's unfortunate information to gain. Okay. This is here, this is here, this is here. So we still could get lucky. Magnetic has text that might matter because we could magnetic over here and then test one of these and then just come back to Western Wall, which is probably what we're going to do. But regardless, did we add the Doom yet? No, we didn't. So we're on our last turn. We're at Doom 2. 1 encounter card. Yeah, I told you it was the Primeval thing, so we should have kept that card. We didn't need it, but Primeval Terror is on it. It's a 2/2/2. It doesn't do attacker's opportunity, though, so for this turn, it doesn't matter. Also, when it's with us, we can enter empty sky locations, but for this turn, when we're resigning, it's literally a blank encounter card because it just can't do anything to us. Okay, so we have 3, maybe 4 actions to find this thing, get a clue off of it, and leave, which is pretty low margins, if you ask me. Well, yeah, I mean, it's low margins. What can we do? We can use Obsidian Claw to fast travel here. From here, we can spend 2 clues to reveal this. If this is the location, we move to it. If it's not a location, we can't move to it. And then we would have 2 actions left. We can fast travel with the claws, with the Olivier here, and we can move resign. So that's good. We can at a minimum do that. This is actually a really good draw because it opens it up. Otherwise, we could spend a clue with magnetic spires. The question is, can we do a lockpicks? Because I think if the lockpicks whiffs and we don't succeed by 2, we can no longer reveal locations. Now, again, our margins are so low here because we have to reveal exactly the right location, but we'll be looking at 3 cards. But lockpicks is very likely unless we hit the autofail to succeed by 2. Even the skull, I think we beat because we're 9-2. So yeah, I think we're going to start with the lockpicks because I think no matter what, we're okay here. Unless we pull the autofail, and then we just have to leave. So 9-2 on lockpicks. This thing doesn't hit us. Oh my god! You're kidding me? I take this down. It didn't mean to, but it doesn't break. We fail. Okay. So our margins were already so low, and we failed a test. Okay, so we have to do 2 moves, which are accounted for, and we have to resign. So unless we can succeed with this next log, I think we have to leave. We're not gonna be able to translate this. No, why was that an autofail? There's 18 tokens. That's really funny. So what could we possibly do? We could jump up here, and we're out. Yeah, I know, just about. So we could fast travel up here. We could spend 2 clues to reveal here. If it is a location that we go to, we will be there. We can then fast travel resign. Right? Because we spend an action. If this is not a location, though, we're in a bad spot. And I think we know the bottom 2 and far shift of the deck are not locations we can go to. Because what's the text on the act? Does the act care? Can it be open sky? Suspend X cards, reveal X cards from the bottom. You may pull 1 reveal. No, because open sky is not a location, right? So that's bad. So annoying. At the end of the day, all of this is not going to be worth it because like the chance of finding the thing are so low. If it turns out the location is exactly 3 below, we're going to kick ourselves. But even if it is 3 below, like we need to use the lockpicks to get there. So the other thing we can do is fast travel. Then we can do the action there. And if we see it, we move in there. We lockpicks that location, which gets us an action back, but then we're 1 short of leaving. Yeah, this was wrong. This was not good. Can't you move through there? Engage with, since you have any mount guy engaged? No, yeah, we can move through there. The problem is like we can't reveal the location. So I can't make it make sense. Yeah, all it does is single the blanks to the top, which we need 3 clues to maybe see a card. So I don't think we can do it. I just want to make sure that we can't do it because we've already spent so much time to get here. So we could fast travel here. We also could do a thing to spend a clue, but if we spend a clue, we're putting ourselves further behind than we want to do. If we fast travel here, we're allowed to be there. And then we could spend an action to find here. But we're pretty sure the bottom 2 are not locations. Unfortunately, we gained that information. But even then, I wouldn't take the risk because there's a lot of locations on the table and we could do the math. We know there's 1 on top and there's a lot already on the table. So it's like not good odds anyways. But if we do that here and we whiff, then we're here and we have 1 more action. So we have to do fast travel move, we die. So we can't do that. So yeah, I don't think we have a way to do it. Yeah, we don't have a way to do it. Bummer. We'll see what happens if that was not an auto fail. If that was not a fail, we can look at 3 from the bottom of the deck, but I don't think we can do it. So we're just going to do Obsidian Claws, Olivier. We have 2 more actions. We'll just resign. So we did okay, but we got the Claw, which is good because Claw is great. Does the math work better if you fast travel with Olivier before Claw? Doesn't make a difference because we need to get 2 away anyways. Oh, I see what you mean. If we just move here with Olivier and then do this location, I don't think it makes a difference. Yeah. Ooh, no. Hold on. You might be right. Because Olivier can move in a bend, right? So if we Olivier here, we reveal location here. If it whiffs, we can go back in. No, you're better. That's slightly better. Yeah, that we should definitely do that. You want to move the location if you hit one that was... Yeah, if we don't hit a location, we don't move. And that's the problem. We can't even choose to enter the location. But you're right. This is actually better. If we Olivier here, so we still have 2 actions, then we can spend an action and we'll spend 2 clues. So yeah, that's the best thing we can do. We can spend 2 clues and look at the bottom 2 and guarantee. Bottom 2 are 2, so they go to the top. So now we have 1 action left. We Obsidian Claws, we resign. Yeah, that was a much better line. I didn't realize that. Yeah, of course. They don't have to be 2 in a row and then we'll leave. Let's see if the 3rd location, no. So even 3 locations doesn't matter. The question is, where is the location that was added? This location just got added. Was this the one we wanted? Nope. Somewhere in the deck or on the table. We'll look at it later, but we missed it. It could be as close as this one. It's not this one. I don't know where it is. but we resigned. We did good. The other thing we could have considered is getting 5 victory or 1 victory, but sorry, by doing 5 damage, which that seems like not a thing we can do. But we did resign. We did advance. We actually did not get defeated on the last possible action of this whole scenario, which is pretty good. I think we did good. And we got the claw, which is what we wanted. Check the next location, like in the deck or on the table. It was far away. It was 7 cards down. It was already on the table and it got cycled through. It's here. So unfortunately, we're not going to translate the claw, but it was not. We're not going to get it. That's really hard. Again, when you're in solo, you have to get lucky there, which is fine. Still very exciting. Okay, we flipped this over. It's back in one piece. We did it. We returned back to base camp. We have some reading to do. Back in one piece. All right, so a tremor nearly knocks you loose as you descend the treacherous spires. After several tense minutes, you finally descend to the streets. Andy sits on a glistening boulder, doing his best not to look shaken. Well, that's another half dozen roll of film gone. He sighs with a melancholy air. At least we're back in one piece. Well, mostly. He laughs, favoring his bandaged arm. I don't remember him getting hurt. After the rest of your group are gathered, you make your way back to the beach where you make landfall. Resolution 1. The translation side is mediocre. It's really good. The translation side is actually really quite good. It's really good for us in particular. It's really good because it's consistent. I'm not going to spoil it, but it hurts people, and that's really good. And he uses our stats well. All right, well done. I think we did good. That's not an easy scenario, and I think we pulled something to be proud of there. A lot of very clean turns, and again, this is what I mean when solo. I'm not going to say we played perfect because, like, of course we didn't, but excuse me, that's not what I wanted to hit. But like, we had no actions left. So much of that was counting cards. If you do not count this deck, you are full random territory. You need to count this deck. You need to know, okay, we've put 7 on the table. It's in the next 4. So you can intelligently use your clues. Because we were like, spend 2 clues so that it puts 2 into play. Then we'll spend 3 clues so it puts 2 into play. And then we can spend 4, right? Like, that stuff's so important. It makes us so much more manageable. If you lose track of where it possibly can be, you're like, oh shit, I think it could be here or here. And then you have to check those and they're far apart and only one person has the claw. And it gets pretty weird. This is resolution 1. All right. We also got to see what the resolution is based off of the choice we made for our task. Okay. I'm going to read this off paper. 1 second. Got to go through all the... There. Andy sits on a glistening boulder doing his best not to look shaken. Well, I thought this trip was going to make my career, but as it turns out, between alien parasites, magnetic storms, and, you know, the Pacific Ocean, my career didn't stand a chance. He sighs. At least we're back in one piece. Well, mostly, he laughs, favoring his bandaged arm. Did we not just read that? Holy shit. What? The same sentence shows up on the back of this card and the resolution? How, what? Wait, what happened? That's the same text. He sighs. At least we're back in one piece. Well, mostly he laughs, favoring his bandaged arm. That's in both of them. That's not what happened. No. After the rest of your group are gathered, you hit landfall. Yeah, the same paragraph. Cool. Okay. Update your campaign log. If the Obsidian Claw was under control of an investigator, we add the Obsidian Claw into artifacts earned. It's a really good artifact. We'll probably take it. We have took literally 1 damage this scenario. We've been really scared of damage. Again, it was really nice that we deleted 17 health of enemies in a single action. So that's good. If investigator has prove your worth task, they resolve the respective story. We'll do that in a second. Each investigator earns Victory X. Unfortunately, Victory X is just 2. Prove your worth. If the investigator is named help with the ropes, proceed to task 1. So we got to do task 1. You should be proud of what you've done. The rest of the expedition was so impressed by your work that you heard one of them chanting your name while you were climbing. They may have been screaming it, you aren't certain. Whatever it was that happened, they don't seem inclined to discuss it any further. Sadly, your work with the ropes wasn't much help. Several of them snapped during your climb, and one of the other expedition members has a broken leg now. What a shame. Must have been some fault of the manufacturer. Okay? Wait, did we kill someone? We were like, we can do it, and we were not good at it. It's really funny how we think they're chanting our name, but they're actually dying. The investigator you chose to help earlier suffers 1 physical trauma and gains 2 bonus experience. We had to pick ourselves, right? What happened here? This doesn't make sense when you're playing solo. Okay, so it said, without consulting them, you choose an investigator to help, not yourself if able. Remember that André helped with the ropes, as well as the chosen investigator name. So André helped André with the ropes. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so So the investigator who we chose to help, which was ourselves, suffers a physical trauma, which is bad because now we started 5 health, so not good. Because we have 2 trauma off 7, so that's not good. But we own 2 bonus experience, so we're at 4 bonus experience. Unfortunately, that just puts us just shy of getting the red clock, which we're at 9 of 10, so that's not good. But you are pleased with yourself, aren't you? Mark 2 progress under prove your work. That is good, because now prove your worth, we've hit 6 check marks, which means we should be able to cash it in, which is pretty good. So that's nice. Now it says proceed to the sepulcher of the sleeper, which we are going to do that. It's can be a secret scenario if you do play it. Hold on, I'm just going to put this card out of the way. Wrong pedal, excuse me. But we're not going to be able to hit the conditions. And then the conditions to do this are so difficult. I do not know how you can do this consistently. Yeah, it doesn't work solo. That's weird. Sepulcher of the Sleeper. The expedition's reunion on the beach is decidedly dour, underscored by the rolling fog. One of the crew members you left behind to tend the boat is dead, according to the others. She was murdered, but the remaining rations were stolen by starving pilgrims. Thankfully, the Cassandra is intact. You've barely enough food remaining to make it to the mainland. Andy and Ruby discuss their findings as the rest of the expedition bandage wounds and begin loading the Cassandra for the voyage home. Once the ship is loaded, you join Andy and Ruby on the shore. Check your campaign log. If at least 1 artifact is checked, yeah, we have like 3 or 4, and at least 10 glyphs are translated in the glyph section, proceed to Sepulcher of the Sleeper too. So we've obviously done both of those. And I think that's the only big check here. Now it's like, do you have 10 or do you have 26? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 18. So not 26, let alone, I don't know how you're meant to get all of them in the last scenario solo, let alone, yeah, solo. First scenario, we could have done better. That's the one that we dropped the ball on. But yeah, that's there. So at least we get to read the next box here. Just how much of that ugly chicken scratch did you decode? Ruby asks. Andy is hunched over the obsidian slate, making notes in a leather-bound notebook. In the evening half-light, the glyphs on the slate glow like pale fire. Andy leafs through several waterlogged pages and places a bloody slip of paper on the stone. Enough to decode this. I found it on the body of one of the pilgrims. It roughly translates to this. He hastily scribbles the translation on a fresh page and holds it out to you. It reads, "That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange eons even death may die." Check your campaign log. If all 5 artifacts and all 26 glyphs are translated, you go to the Sepulcher of the Sleeper 3, which is a secret scenario, which we were in theory trying to shoot for in absolutely such hubris. There's no way we could have done that solo. Otherwise, add a 0 token to the chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign, which actually is a really good upside. There's a couple campaigns that do that. If you hit something that makes the bag easier, usually the bag just gets straight harder, but that's like a nice thing, especially for not only passing tests, of course, but succeeding by 2. This is another token we can lean on. So it significantly makes the bag a lot better. We'll add a 0 to the bag. And then we continue to interlude 3, the Awakening. We're just going to do this interlude really quickly because we don't get to do the next page, which is the setup for a scenario, which I haven't seen. It's not uses a lot of new cards. There's only like 6 or 7 cards in that set, so it's mostly using old cards. But this is going to be important because, well, we got to do a couple things here. Actually, hold on. So this is a couple interludes in the way. We have to do Return to Arkham and the Awakening. So I actually think it might be a good time to stop here. And then we'll continue this next time because the next scenario is relatively short. So it'd be nice to read some stuff before that, cash in our task and all that. Now, I'm pretty sure these interludes, we might get some bonus experience. So I'm not going to upgrade our decks yet, but we did leave this with 1, 2 plus 2 more. So we're currently on 9 experience. I'm hoping that in the interlude, we'll get at least 1 more experience. And I'm pretty sure now we have 6 progress. We have truly proven our worth as much as we fell off of a rock because of our own hubris. So yeah, that's fine. This scenario is kind of sick, like genuinely a really cool scenario, really thematic. It's obviously super fiddly, but getting all the rules right, remembering the wind blowing, which I don't think we missed once. We had to retcon 1 or 2 of them, but that was good. It's like, it's a cool scenario. It's really, really cool. I think if you're in the mindset of trying to get every single glyph, specifically when you're playing solo, this is going to be frustrating. That is for sure, because there's a fair bit of randomness in the setup. And I do think there are setups that just don't allow you to do what you want to do, which is full completion. We could have been a bit more aggressive, maybe finding more clues faster to find more things and knock out some of the glyphs in the first act and the second act, but we just wanted to get through it. And especially in the second act is really important to get there because then you find the claw. And again, claw is law. That's really good. And this thing is something we're probably going to be taking with us for a while. So after we get back to Arkham, there's a whole bunch of interludes. Cthulhu might show up, we'll find out. But then we're going to be returning to Arkham and protecting it for a final fight. Now, this is a 2-part campaign, 2-part finale. So there's the Doom of Arkham Part 1 and the Doom of Arkham Part 2. Part 1 is, it's okay, it's fine. It's a bit of a setup and you have to search and find things, but part 2 is where Cthulhu really shows up. So like the real climax is still kind of coming, but we're gonna be returning to Arkham and hopefully getting more dry, which that's good. Good scenario though. That was actually really fun. Mind you, we did stream again on Monday. If you want to watch the Court of the Ancients, it was actually a really fun scenario as well. We had a good time, surprisingly good time with that. We knocked out some big enemies, which is not something we can do all the time. Usually we're part of the running away crowd. And again, André Patel, we've been getting 4 actions just about every turn. It's pretty good, as much as like we are running out of ways to spend experience in our small card pool, but it won't be like that forever. I think that's mostly it. It's just about Friday. It's 11:59. So thanks so much for joining. If you've been watching live or you've been watching the VOD, I trust that you are well. If you want to take a second and leave a like on this video, if you want to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that sort of stuff is like the easiest way to say thank you to the channel. Again, we are young and we're growing out here. I will have more to say about this in the near future, but we'll be having more time to put out some more content on this channel. I don't think it's all going to be gameplay, but we're going to be putting out some other sort of videos, whether it's reviews or more talking about like what's it called, talking about practice and like in theory and stuff like that. I think that should be coming up. I also do think we will do a 2-handed playthrough of the chapter 2 core set, the Brethren of Ash, and we're going to try and set it up in a way that we can get everything on screen at once. I think the thing that I realized is to make it make sense, we're probably just going to keep our deck and discard pile off screen. I also think we're going to keep our investigator card off screen as well. It kind of sucks. Maybe we'll keep it slightly on screen, but like this card doesn't do anything and this takes up a lot of space. And we're basically at the point, if we're going to play 2-handed, we have to space max as much as possible. So we're going to have to make these weird sacrifices that I was not like excited to do, but like getting rid of the active agenda, we might have exactly enough space for 2 players, and then we'll try 2-handed, which I think going through Brethren of Ash will be a nice testing spot for that, which is going to be good fun. That's it. Again, thanks so much for hanging out. I trust y'all are well. Stay dry, and we'll catch you next week. We'll be back on a Wednesday. Take care, y'all. Ciao. Where's my mouse at?